Hello, hello, hello. Be able to hear me now, guys? Just get this stream sorted. So, if you're with me, the plan tonight is going to be imaging M57. I need to gather a bunch of data on this thing as part of an upcoming video where I'm going to be comparing two telescopes that I've got on the piers right now, the ASCAR 120 Apo and the Edge HD 11. So yeah, that's the plan for this evening. If we've got a bit of spare time as well, I'm open to taking some requests for things that we can image. Hopefully everything is going out correctly. You guys can hear me, see me, and things. Hey there, Gabe, Astro Duck, Stefan, Michael O'Brien. Have you actually got some clear skies? I do indeed, mate. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable finally to see a bit of clear sky. And what's even more unbelievable is it looks like it might be cleared again tomorrow as well. So that's pretty cool. Pete, good to see you, mate. Astro Boot, there's a stream in my garden. Hey, James, mate, good to see you. DSO Imager. How are you all doing tonight? Danny. Everybody's there, fantastic. So I deliberately left everything unset up, so we're going to go through it together, I think, on the stream. So as you can see, if I just move or indeed turn off my sky camera for a minute, we're just about to hit what is the darkest portion of the night for me right now. We don't actually get any astronomical darkness at this time of the year, unfortunately, so that's as good as we get, a constant state of twilight. Yeah, we'll do what we can with that. I took your guys' feedback, by the way. I know a few people asked what can I do to improve the streams, and you mentioned a sky camera. So I have found a suitable, I think, kind of webcam situation that is an f1 lens and a nice low light color sensor. And as you can see, reasonable view. It can see better than I can, at least. Anyway, that's for sure. Funny timing tonight. I have clear skies. Oh, you might have clear skies for the first time in months too. Awesome, Gabe. That's good to hear, mate. Oh, sorry to hear you're still at work, James. I've had an easy day today. Just been having a barbecue, really. That's about it. Space stuff. Rich Williams from Astor, Florida. Having clear skies tonight. I'll be out with your stuff working on an M101. How long's that project now then, mate? Do you have much data on it so far? No astronomical darkness for you either, Gabe. Yeah, Duck, I did think about that. I don't have a spare ASI camera. They're all kind of in use at the minute, or about to be, you know, with guiding and things like that. Yeah, indeed, Pete. We actually just recently got a, going a bit off-piste for an astronomy stream, but I got a Kamado grill, you know, the big ceramic ones, and it's been awesome. Some shrimps on the barbie. In fact, we didn't have shrimps, we had ribs today, and a small brisket, actually, that's still cooking right now. Would you believe it? 679 subs. Wow, that's a few, mate. Right, let's get lined up with M57. I think tonight I'm going to do my first autofocus. I've been letting the scope acclimate for a while, and then I'm probably going to run out into the observatory and close down the mirror locks and see if that stops any kind of mirror flop happening. I think I'm experiencing a little bit of it on my Edge HD 11, even with enough of a backlash turn adjustment on the focuser. It's odd. Jason, good to see you, mate. 104 Fahrenheit. Oof. Yeah, that's roasting, dude. It's not that hot here. 20.8 degrees centigrade in the observatory right now, and about 17, I think, right now, nighttime temperature, something like that, 16, 17. Gonna go ahead and slew and center on this thing. I'll turn it onto the the sky cam, so you can hopefully see this thing slew. I need to connect everything up. I've failed to do that first, so jumped the gun a little bit there, Luke. So focus connecting, mount, and guider. Let's get this thing unparked. I can hear my mount slewing, but the Skycam doesn't seem to be updating, oddly. Bit weird. Oh, yeah, it's just a little bit lagged behind, it seems. What's that, like 42? Yeah, that is red hot, Jason, mate. That's just too much. Hey there, Dio. Good to see you, mate. John Stevens. Hoping you've gotten to the bottom of your slewing issues on your new Edge 11 and be able to collect some subs tonight. Nice. Yeah, perfect night, mate, to be testing it on. If it's just, you know, part clear, you can have a good play, can't you, without burning, you know, perfect clear sky time. 10 degrees for you, Pete. Yeah, that's a lot cooler, mate. Hey there, Dean. Good to see you in another stream, mate. Thanks for joining in. We've got a view right now of the off-axis guider. We can see little donuts, so we know we're well out of focus, at least to start with. Let's go ahead and use the framing wizard and slew and center. See if the Skycam can pick this up at all. Definitely seems to be a bit of lag, oddly. This wasn't present earlier in the night. Yeah, only now is it just starting to register. Glad to hear that, Stefan. Yeah, it's cool. I managed to actually pick this thing up for about 70 British pounds. So really quite cheap for an F1 camera. Okay, so there we go. It's pointed. And now hopefully we'll have a successful plate solve. I do notice when I was setting the off-axis guider prism height on this thing, I don't know if you guys can see on the stream right there, there's a little bit of a shadow at the bottom of the frame. So I think I dropped my prism just slightly too low into the field of view, but it'll be fine. Ivan. Hello there, mate. Thanks for joining in. Good to see you. And there she is, M57. Hopefully, I'll have a flawless autofocus. As I say, I'll try and lock off those mirror locking bolts, and that should hold. I think I'll set up a custom plan for tonight where I'll just pause things and, you know, force or focus myself rather than waiting for autofocus to keep continually doing it through the night, and see if that improves things, because I had a little bit of issues with it seemingly drifting out of focus faster than I would expect. So we'll see if this will all help. Hey, Gil, how am I? Not bad at all, mate, thank you. How are you? Line scope cam, yeah, it's here for you guys. Cosmos, hi there from the most southern of Norway. Nice. I've got a few friends in Norway, and one of them sent me a photo of the sky last night, what it was like for him at about 11:30, and it just looked like you could still see everything really plainly, you know what I mean? Pretty unbelievable. At least it's not quite that bad here. Let's zoom in a bit and see if we can keep his eyes on what's going on. Looks like we're getting towards focus. I'm just hoping my still warm barbecue isn't going to interrupt the seeing too much. It's on the same side of the observatory as the scope is pointing. So is anybody else out imaging tonight then? What we on with? Ivan. You're on honeymoon. Congratulations, mate, in the Canary Islands. Been on TD Mountain for a star excursion. It's all very basic and all visual astronomy. Well, the sky is amazing. That's incredible, mate, yeah. I'd love to do that one day. That sounds like a real good use of your time. Cloudy here as usual. Oh. Sorry to hear it, Pete. Dean, you're going after the Pelican. Nice. Is this a one-off session, Dean, or do you already have some data on it, mate? Apart from a rainy and cloudy sky here, not bad, really. Good to hear that, mate. At least I can watch you doing some AP. Awesome, mate. Yeah, I'm glad it's enjoyable for people to watch this kind of thing. Dio, waiting for darkness in New Jersey, and then shooting M101 with your Edge 8. Nice one, mate. Yeah, nice choice. I definitely want to hit up M101 this year, but as it stands, I'm a little bit stuck, to be honest. I've got other projects I really want to sweep away first before I try and clear off a couple of galaxies from the list. I don't know if I'm going to reach it, to be honest. James has got more rain tonight. Oh, no. That said, I think you did have some decent weather recently, if I'm recalling correctly, James. Danny, no Asher today, heavy rain. Oh, the worst. Alright, so it looks like the autofocus has finished. So, I'm just going to nip out into the observatory and close off my my mirror locks. Turn on the sky cam and hopefully you can see what I'm actually getting up to. Probably going to need a, let's see, a headlamp as well. Alright, back in 1 second, guys. All right. I'm back. Wow, that lag's bad. Yeah, at least on my side. Yeah, let's see if that hasn't affected the quality of all of this. So it looks like my off-axis guide of view is still fine. I can definitely guide on those. And I will attempt to do so now. Pick a nice bright one. Doesn't look like it's saturated or anything. That star profile doesn't really have a big broad flat top, you know what I mean? So that should be fine. And now let's try a test exposure, no looping needed, of 60 seconds and see how it looks. If it looks sharp, then we'll go with it. Just catch up with the chat a little bit. Gabe, gosh darn tired after a long week. Ooh, wildfire season about to start. Yeah, absolutely, mate. By the sounds of that, you've got to make the most of every chance you get. Pete, season over for you in Aberdeenshire. Yeah, I can imagine, mate, that far north. Dean's is a multi-night project indeed. Got some red and luminous data from last year. That's cool. You know, I've never really bothered kind of sticking data together from multiple years. It's always been just at most, basically, I think weeks apart. I know a lot of people do that to great effect, though. Demon Squad got some rain headed. Oh, hopefully it holds off for you, mate. Stefan, heavy rain since 5 days. Wow, that's rough, mate. Jason, a couple of clear nights. You're able to finish off the M81, M82 shot. I saw the that shot, I think, mate, a few days back. Beautiful work. 2 years a day for M101 so far. Nice. Brody, good to see you, mate. As you can see, we're just setting up for a bit of a test right now, Brody. So that definitely looks really soft to me, like it's not completely focused. So, that's a troubling one. I do wonder if the mirror locks being tightened up has moved the focus ever so slightly. I don't know if you guys have any experience with that kind of thing. Peter Raymond says, how do you get these clear skies, Luke? You're away in the motorhome in Pilling near Preston, which is constant cloud. It has been just about constant cloud here too, mate, to be honest. It's just, I'm a bit of a night owl, so every single opportunity I get, roof off, and, you know, start making captures for videos and things like that, you know what I mean? Kevin Murphy. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up here. We chat a little bit, guys. Hey there, mate. Thanks for doing this. Hey, you're more than welcome. Fascinating as usual. A little bright for you, south of Dublin. And clear for you as well. Ooh. Nice. Dark Pixels. Hello there, mate. Thank you for joining in. Really good to have you. Your first year of M101 has a supernova in it. That was about the last time I was semi-regularly streaming, actually, around the M101 supernova, that kind of thing. Potential auroras for lower latitudes, June the 6th. Nice. I did a little bit of solar observing today, just with the C star. I am going to quickly undo this, and I could see that kind of group of sunspots. Once again, I'm just going to undo my mirror locks, run through another autofocus, because can't say I'm satisfied with the state of that focus, and we'll see if we can improve things. Just 1 second. Wow, alright. Ooh, I knocked my guide in then. Unsurprisingly. Let's see. Right, so I'll run another autofocus while I'm just catching up with chat. I've got to get better at multitasking, it seems. He-Man. Clear skies for the last 2 weeks. Picked up some stuff from your Etsy shop. Oh, awesome, mate. Thank you very much indeed. I hope they reach you nice and swiftly. Do let me know, by the way, if you have any trouble with any of it. Ring Nebula is always looking soft to you. Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's just, I think it can definitely look sharper than that in individual subs. I tried to take a little bit of data on this thing a few nights back, basically. We had a brief break in the clouds, and I wanted to make a capture involving this. And it did look better than what we just saw on the screen right there. Constellation binoculars, asks Gabe. I have not, actually, mate. Been given a few to test and see which we should carry at my store. I already love them. Interesting. Yeah, I've never tried them, mate. I think my skies are just a... Gonna go out, Nugget? I think it might be warm, Clay. Yeah, I think my skies are just a little bit bright, really, for picking most things out with binoculars. George, good to have you, mate. Hi from Sarasota. Nice. How familiar are you with the area? 20 miles north of Aberdeen, southwest of Ellen. I'm not familiar with the area, mate, I'm afraid. What bottle level are your skies? Ivan asks. Bottle 7 here, Ivan. I think probably now quite a low bottle 7, but still, nonetheless, I don't think it's yet bottle 6. Total cloud out for Andy in Cheshire. Sorry to hear that, mate. Is there any chance for you tomorrow, Andy, by chance? Trevor McDougall. Cloudy morning here in Esk, Australia. Get much clearer skies your side of the Pennines. Yeah, maybe so, mate. I think the grass is always greener on the other side, though, eh? You were talking to Pete, I see now. Michael. Hey there, Michael. Started last night on Oxygen 3 for your 2-panel M8 image. Ooh, with the red cats. That'll be cool. Getting your small Rokinon 135 set up here in Texas for remote imaging. Awesome. That should be good, mate. Well, it looks like, in fact, even the off-axis guide view there looks sharper, doesn't it? The stars are no longer weirdly elongated. So, I'm going to try another quick test sub. Once PhD's settled right there. And we'll see if this one looks sharper than the previous, which I'll just put back on the screen for us. I think obviously it's really critical to try and nail focus for this kind of thing. Trying to pick out as much resolution as possible. Chloe, are you able to kick off your imaging plan for this now? Are you already started? Fantastic, cheers. Oh, good. Are they coming in nice? In case you're wondering who I'm talking to, that's my fiance, Chloe, just over there. She's got the other rig in her control, the ASCAR 120 and 585, IMX 585 camera. And she's shooting the Ring Nebula as well at the same time. Just try and catch up with chat a little bit. Hey there, Ray. Good to see you again in another stream, mate. Hope you're doing well. Just another amateur astronomer. You're in Kansas, USA, and have a ball 6 guy. Nice. Roberto, I'm from Brazil. Hello to you too, sir. Good to have you. Constellation binoculars would be great for you. In reference to what we were just talking about, yeah. You're testing from your Portal 9 backyard. Oof, under a full moon as well. It might as well be daytime. Felt like we were under a dark sky again. Could even see the Hercules Globular. Very nice. Aloha from Hawaii, says Paul's. Nice. Hey there, Paul. Planetary alignment coming on the 3rd of June. Ooh. What's that going to involve then, mate? Which planets are aligning? So, sub number 1 is on there, and sub number 2, if we just change to that now. If we can see that kind of second component in the middle of M57, I know we're getting closer. So that does look a bit better. Jenny X, Mr. Star, which telescope are you using? I am using the Celestron Edge HD 11 tonight, mate, along with the full frame camera, the Player One Zeus. One shot color, IMX 455. Brody, enjoy yourself, mate. Gotta go out and eat with your family. Awesome. Yeah, enjoy that, mate. Make you feel like you've got super eyeballs. That's good to hear, Gabe. 8:35 AM on a Saturday, says Frack Centurion. Howdy, mate. Good to have you. Stargazer Ridge, hello there, buddy. Miguel as well, from Puerto Rico. Nice. Luke won't say it's too modest. Click that like button. Click that like button, please. It does really help. Yeah, it definitely helps. Really appreciate it, guys. Stan, good to have you in another stream, Stan. I always like catching all you guys on here. It feels like I'm just chilling out with friends then, you know what I mean? Well, I'm not completely satisfied with this second autofocus, I have to say. I'm going to try one more sub at this, and if it doesn't look better, I'm probably going to try plan B, which is going to involve slewing to a brighter star, manually focusing, potentially anyway. We'll see what we get. 6 planets are aligning. Wow. That's, I think no planets are really visible for me right now. I'm going to have to wait until the end of next month, and then I'll start to be able to see Mars rising very, very early in the morning, effectively over in the eastern sky for me. Let's see. Astro Image M. Greetings from Brazil. Ball 3. Ooh, very nice. Very clear sky today, and you're imaging too. Awesome, mate. What are you imaging today? AZ Ray doing some visual last night with your Quattro. M13 and M57 looks nice. Good to hear. I hit the button before I made a comment. Awesome, mate. Which scope is this and how long does it take to cool down? This is the Edge HD 11, James, and it takes a while. But I do have the Tempest fans, you know, the add-on fans. It already came installed with them because I bought it used from someone. So I'm happy to say that they do work and reduce the cooldown time, it seems. That looks a little sharper, so I'm wondering if I got some bad seeing for the previous sub. Indeed, if you look at the HFR, it's also lower, 387. That could be what we're observing. I think we're good enough. I will kick off the plan now, I reckon. So I do have a sequence. I will try and run it, and I'll save some time tonight. It looked like using the mirror locks is not really something I can do successfully right now. I'll have to sort that out. But this all looks good. We're running 2-minute subs, dithering every 4, gain 210, offset 100. So just at the moment that HCG gain opens on this camera, I do believe. And yeah, we look okay. I don't need to slew and center to target because I'm already there. And I don't need to autofocus on start because I just autofocused. But I think we will autofocus again in 20 minutes time. It might seem excessive, but I'm really intending to chase it tonight if needed. And get the best that I possibly can out of this thing. Let's see. Can't wait for the Mars opposition, says Pete. Yeah. I was trying to find some interesting events that'll go off this year, and I noticed that Saturn should go behind the moon on the 21st of the 8th at 4:28 AM. Starting to become visible for me, and it'll re-emerge 5:18. So I'm going to try and catch that if it's clear. That could be pretty interesting at this kind of long focal length. Ivan says, I have to say, when I look through telescopes here in the Canaries, kind of understand the visual astronomy, guys. Yeah, I'd love to have a proper look through a telescope, you know what I mean? Just visually, under some good skies. All my experience with visual has just been from my backyard. Really, aside from eyeballs only stuff from darker skies. And I have to say, even in your own backyard, it's pretty amazing stuff, innit? Let's see. What do you use to connect everything remotely to my computer like that? Asks Astro Duck. It's all basically done through Windows Remote Desktop. So I've got a mini PC strapped to the Edge HD outside, or whichever telescope I'm using at the time. And everything, of course, just plugs into Nina for most of my imaging sessions. Unless I'm doing something like EAA or a bit of Lucky, live stacking, that kind of thing, in which case then I'll use SharpGap for the same thing. John Stevens, been thinking about adding the Tempest fans to my Edge as well. Glad to hear they're working for you. Yeah, they do seem to work, mate. I would expect an 11-inch scope with a sealed tube should take a lot longer than this to cool down. And as soon as I plug those fans in, you can immediately start to feel air moving through those mesh vents. So they do move a decent amount of air. They are quite noisy, though. I will say that. So I don't know if that's a potential problem from your observing location. Astro Image M, you're into comets and imaging the C2023 A3. Is in a very good position and starting to become more bright each day. Awesome. Is that going to be one potentially that's going to be naked eye visible by any chance? That'd be pretty neat. Let's see. Streaming in the daytime. Clay Skies tonight here, so I'm signing up. Yeah. Hey there, Casey. Good to see you, mate. And for you, Casey, by the way, I do have the box. So look to see a video coming out on that soon, mate. Thank you very much indeed again for that. And while everybody else might be wondering what that is, I'll keep it a secret for a few minutes. See if you can guess what's in the box. Let's see. I'm well behind on chat. Sorry, guys. On my 925 Edge, I tighten the mirror locks and then just back off slightly. Interesting, Ray. You find that works for you then, mate? Gonna be able to see the rings. They're getting flatter as time goes on. Indeed. Got to continue my honeymoon. Keep safe. Hey, have a great one, Ivan. Thanks for stopping by a little bit, mate. Astroduck asks, what mini PC do you use? I use a B-Link U59, I do believe. I reviewed it on my channel a couple of years back, so I wouldn't recommend buying that exact one anymore because it's, you know, frankly been superseded by newer stuff. But it does still work well, although it's probably about the limits of its capabilities when using a full-frame camera. It definitely struggles if I'm trying to refresh images fast on the screen. It can't even keep up with the 3 or so FPS frame rate that this camera is capable of. A little bit crazy. Jenny X. Yep, visual is actual photons to your eyeball. Yeah, it is. It definitely feels different, doesn't it? Michael. Can't tell, but do you have a Crayford focuser or using the stock focuser? I'm using the stock focuser, Michael. I've got an EAF attached to it, and for that, you know, I have to just back off the mirror locks while it's performing its focusing. And I'd hoped at the start of tonight's session that I could let it focus, tighten down the mirror locks, and you know, hope that that'd do the job. But I seem to knock it out of focus in doing so, unfortunately. Claudio. Really sorry if I'm getting your name wrong, mate. I'm not the best with these pronunciations. Haven't had a clear sky in the past 50 days in Orleans, France. Oof. Well, I hope that changes for you very soon, mate. That's you've had a bad deal there. Stargazer plans on imaging tonight in Colorado. Very nice. Good luck for you, for yourself, an imaging session tonight, buddy. Can the fans be causing some blurriness in your images from vibration? Good suggestion, mate, and I have had that kind of thing before. Think in this case, I see worse stars with the fans off, just from very brief testing. But if nothing else, it keeps the tube inside the air kind of mixed, rather than letting currents rise, which sometimes can add weird spikes to stars, I've noticed. It's very odd. Pete says, Luke, do you have the Celestron dew heater ring for the C11? I only recently found out about it after resurrecting your CPC 110, your 1100. So I have the dew heater ring on my Rasa 11, Pete, but for the edge, I opted to use the dew strap, basically, mate. That's all I'm using for it. Does a good job. I would say, as well as a little bit of an addition to that, Pete, it is possible to slightly, and I mean very easily, over tighten that dew heater ring and introduce pinch once it's turned on, because it does get quite hot. It has hot spots, does the dew heater ring. So it adds effectively a bit of tension to your corrector plate wherever the resistor's in contact with the glass, basically. You probably know all this, of course, already, but I just thought I'd mention it just in case anybody else is listening in. Callum, hey there, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Light curve says it was visible naked eye. Ah, that's the comet. Nice one. Ooh, they are indeed unpredictable. I always remember seeing Neowise naked eye. That was just jaw-dropping. I remember every single time I had the opportunity to go out and see that while it was up, I took it. And had a good look, you know what I mean? Fantastic. Oh, thank you for that, He-Man. Currently test driving PixInsight. Awesome. Learning curve for sure, but 100% doable. Still trying to figure out if it's worth the money. What's your opinion on the software versus cheaper or free options? Well, He-Man, my opinion is it was the best money in astronomy that I ever spent, but bar one thing, and that's BlurXTerminator. That's the only thing that's given me more value, but it's right up there. So initially, I had a really rough start with PixInsight, properly struggled, and I mean almost didn't buy it by the end of my trial period, but I thought, look, everybody's using it. All the best images that I see online, at least what I was looking at anyway. I know people have made beautiful images without PixInsight, but Basically, I noticed that most of the top guys are using PixInsight, and I thought, you know, if I want to get on that level or as close as I can be, I need to do it too, and the rest is history. Once I got used to it, I feel like there's no going back for me. Thanks again, by the way, for that, mate. That's really kind of you to donate. Massively appreciate it. Let's see. Been a while, mate. Hope all is well, says Callum. All is indeed well. I had a stressful few weeks, mate. I'll probably put a post out about that soon. But it's all clearing up now, thankfully. Glad to say. Casey Lone Monk asks, did you have a problem with the back focus on the 120 Apo? So not so much a problem with it, no. I just found that it worked a little bit better when a few mils was added to the back focus. Basically, oh crikey, I've just seen... oh man. Wow. Thank you very much indeed for that massive showing support and giving back to quality Astro content creators. Thank you. Thank you, mate. That's really kind. And Pete, jeez, man. 50 gifted subs. What an absolute legend you are, mate. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you indeed. Welcome to all the new members, by the way. That's really kind of you. Jeez. AZ Ray, got to go. See you later. Hey, thanks for popping in, Ray. Hope you have a great day, mate. Here in Florida with such high humidity, I need to use dew heater / dew shield. On your Mead 14, I can imagine, mate. Yeah, on a 14. The keeping dew off that thing must be a little bit difficult. I'm just about catching up, I think. I think Pix is already worth it, if only for BlurXTerminator. Yeah, I'm in the same boat as that, Gabe. Yeah. Now I've got it, there'd be absolutely no way I could go back. It just brings me too much kind of enjoyment, if you will. Soon enough, the Mars project will make it even more worth it. Yeah. Agreed, mate. I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. Simon, good to see you, Simon. Been raining for you. Oh no. I hope it clears up for you soon, buddy. Crikey. All those gifted subs. Unbelievable. Let's see what we got here. Hello from Greece. I'm afraid I don't know how to pronounce your name, mate. So I'll just say hello to my friend from Greece. Cool move, Pete. Cool move indeed, Pete. Yeah. Unbelievable support there, mate. Thank you all tonight, by the way. It really does mean a great deal to me. I always have the issue of never really knowing what to say, though, other than just, you know, thanks. What's that, sorry, Chloe? Oh, Chloe's just pointing out to me that it appears on the sky cam to be a little bit of cloud just moving in over there from the east. Looks like it's moving east, southeast, that kind of thing. Let's hope that stays well away. I don't know if you guys can see on the screen, but just above the scope, as you would expect, while imaging M57 is Vega. That little dot up there is not a hot pixel. It's a very bright star. So these are looking okay, I have to say. We are massively, I think, oversampling. But we'll see if the oversample is worth it when we get around to using BlurXTerminator on this thing. As I do think these days now, it is worth sampling the night skies quite a bit finer than otherwise you usually would with the previous advice. Tassos Andrew is your name. Hey, well, thank you very much indeed for joining in on stream, mate. It's good to have you. Coke Photography. Hello from Canada. Awesome, mate. How's the weather there in Canada? Yeah. Hope those clouds keep away, mate. Andy Williams from New Zealand. We've got people from all over tonight. It's awesome. CSK, first time catching you live. Got a busy day tomorrow, so need to head off. Hopefully catch you another time. Good luck with catching photons. Thank you. Thank you, mate. It's really kind of you to pop in. This will be going up afterwards if you have any interest in catching it as a video on demand. It usually takes a small amount of time for it to process. Once I kind of click stop streaming at the end of tonight's session, it should process it and then add back in the live chat too, for anybody who wants to catch up on these things. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes if I'm doing something else, the last thing I want is pure silence, so I'll stick other people's stuff on, and even though I missed the event live, you know, you can always catch up afterwards. It's pretty good. No worries, enjoy it. Thank you again, Pete, mate. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome of you, buddy. I'm going to say, image looks a bit soft, but then again, it's 3 meter focal length. Yeah. I'm happy to see we can actually see both main components there, the A and B, I would say, star, and also it looks like indications of C and D right there. But the small group next to it looks very much blurred tonight, so I do wonder how much of that can be deconvolved once we've got enough subs. Hopefully it'll turn out alright. Oak photography is supposed to be clear in the next 2 hours. Open to use your C95 on the pinwheel. Ooh, good luck, mate. That's going to be good. Welcome again, by the way, to all the new members from Pete's extremely kind gift. Unbelievable. Manuel, greetings from Mexico. Hey there, mate. Hope you're having good clear skies in Mexico. Breaking the stereotype there. Pete's always been absolutely awesome with support. It's unbelievable. The kindness that some folks have shown since starting this channel has been absolutely phenomenal. Really, really has. Michael Lave asks, are you running a live stack? You know what? I could be, mate, couldn't I? I'm not running one just yet, but I think I should, now you've mentioned it. We'll get that set up in a moment, and we can probably run a live stack using SharpCap, as long as it's not going to be asking for just a little bit too much from my mini PC. You know what I mean? Pete missed me. I don't know. I think, you know, there is a way that I can gift subs sometimes. I'm not sure if I've got any available right now. I'll just, oops, throw my stream on the other screen. What the heck? What's going on here? This is all catching up. What's going on? This is weird. I've just opened up the stream on my other screen, and it's done a massive catch up. Right. Let's see. Wish I could figure this out, guys. I am such a noob with with the live streaming so far. I really am. I'll have to get better at it. Let's see. Where are you located? Coke Photography asks. Northern England, basically, mate. Just up, we're near a place called Leeds. Quite a light polluted spot, but we do what we can from this location, you know what I mean? What's your bottle? Simon asks. It's a low 7 here, Simon. It used to be a mid to mid-high 7, I would have said, but recently they changed us to LED street lamps. And even though I know it's broadband, you know, light pollution and thus unfilterable, it's so much better shielded than the old lamps were that it is a net, you know, positive for me, because less of it's actually making it just straight up into the sky, I'm happy to say. What I really need them to do now is our local council. I wish to take a leaf out of some of the other ones nearby their book and turn the lights off, or at least dim them, you know what I mean, after 11 PM or so. Makes a huge difference, so I've heard. Titch, good to see you, mate. I nearly missed your message there. Hope you're doing well, buddy. forgive me if you already told us how long are the subs. These are 2-minute subs, Jenny X. That's what we opted to go for tonight, just to make the stacking overheads not too disgusting when it comes to time to actually stack up this data. With me using a full frame camera on this, it becomes a little bit of a slog if you're using something like 60-second subs. It can take literally hours upon hours to stack that up, even with a pretty fast PC. Michael asks, which mini PC is it? I run live PixInsight stacks with a quieter 2C. Wow. Yeah, if you can do it with a quieter 2C, then it should be okay on this too. I think it's probably very similarly spec'd to that, an Intel N5105, if memory serves. Don't know how I remembered that, but there you go. Which DSO do you recommend for someone limited to 20-second frames? Asks Extra Kimb. Well, that depends really on your focal length as well, I would say, mate, and also where you're located. Because I might suggest something for the northern hemisphere. I don't know if you're from the southern hemisphere or something like that. Hey there, Lubo. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're keeping well. Unfortunately, not imaging the cat's eye tonight, Lubo. Neil, just got back in. Any chance of giving a quick recap of what you're running with tonight, equipment and target, etc.? Sure, mate. Yeah, so it's the Edge HD11, so a 2800mm focal length telescope, f10 unreduced, so running at its full native focal length. I've got a full frame camera attached to it, one-shot color. A IMX455 based Player One Zeus. We're just running a UV IR cut filter for this one tonight. What else is important? The mount is an EQ8, and we're running 2-minute subs. That's about it. If there's anything I've missed, man, and you want to know, just ask, mate. You're at Nikki's tonight, but not imaging. Oh no. At least you'll be having a nice evening with Nikki, though, mate. Is it sunlight that we can see on the camera outdoors? Asks Dark Pixels. It is indeed, yeah. So the sky gets dark-ish, but never actually gets dark for us at this time of year. As you can see, there's some clouds on the way, unfortunately, just there. It looks like they're going to skirt by with any luck, though. But yeah, this is about it, unfortunately, as dark as it gets. It does look a little bit darker than that to the eye, I would say. The webcam thing that we're looking through, security cam rather, is able to see better than I can with naked eye, that's for sure. But it is bright. Shooting the Whirlpool Galaxy with the Star Adventurer. Ooh, nice. From a Bottle 6 Sky, 30-second exposures. Yeah, that'll be nice, mate. I think you'll have an interesting shot by the end of that. The Whirlpool's quite a small target at that focal length, so it should be lost in a sea of stars and might look really interesting. Titch says, not bad regarding the LEDs. You live in a village which give you good skies, but sadly, they just seem to be building more and more warehouses around. Ugh. Yeah, we've actually just, unfortunately, had a warehouse erected near us, haven't we, Chloe? A distribution centre or something. And they've used the most obnoxious orange lights. You wouldn't believe the sky glow. It's just ridiculous. I'll try and get some footage with the drone one of the days, and I'll maybe tag that into a video and show you what I'm talking about. But it is ridiculous. I've no idea how they've managed to get that past environmental planning or whoever's involved in that kind of thing. Seems to be having a bit of glitching, unfortunately, on the outdoor cam, don't we? Stefan says, I was able to contact the city and then now partially turning off the lights in the area. Wow. What an absolute success story, mate. I might do that, you know. Might write the council a letter and just say, hey, you know, please, I'm begging. I'll do whatever's needed if they'll put those bloody lights off for me. It is better though. In all jokes aside, it is better now than it was, so I can't complain too much. He-Man asks, planning on Hyperstar? You know, I'm a little bit up in air with that one because if Hyperstar worked out really well, then I could, you know, kind of feasibly get rid of my RASA and recoup some of the massive losses from buying all this astronomy gear. But I like my RASA at the same time. I also kind of hate it too, though, so there is that. But yeah, if the opportunity comes up to try a Hyperstar, I may give that a go. It would be nice to have just one scope that does it all. Yeah, as Lubo says, I do have a RASA already. You're a beginner. What do you think the results will be like? I think it'd be awesome, mate. If you're just beginning, you've chosen a nice target there. M51, I think you mentioned. Yeah, it'd be good. Looks like daytime, says Simon. Yeah, spy some clouds in your sky. It's pretty bright, mate. What filter are you using for your Ball 7? No filter tonight, mate. Just UV IR cut. The camera's already got it, but I like to add one inline anyway. Higher quality filter to ensure we are getting rid of all of that ultraviolet and infrared. Do you think that'll be enough to get a good result? I do, mate. Yeah, I think you'll have a nice result by the end of that. Lubo says maybe they already want to save more energy and have it in their mind, but just need an excuse to do it. Good point, mate. Potentially, yeah. I need to also contact. I must sound like a really like picky person, but I need to contact a local club as well. Just at the end of my street, basically, they have got the security lights on the side of their building are adjusted so poorly that they light up everybody's house all the way down here. They're not at all pointed down into their land. I think someone's just put them up and not bothered to actually point them or test them at night. So, yeah, it's ridiculous. You can literally see, because there's got 3 lights, you can see 3 shadows of me if I go outside right now. On the side of my observatory, they're that bright. Hope that made sense. Dwayne says, I noticed on your image the stars were out of focus and then corrected the next frame. Did Nina do that? My RASA 36 does that too. RASA 36. Woo! Crikey, mate. Congratulations immediately on having such a nice scope. But, yeah, what you may have seen if you just joined was possibly the end of a previous autofocus run that we were just going through. Just a little bit behind, so just write to them. I think I will do, Lubo. Yeah, drop them an email or something and see if I can at least open a dialogue and explain the situation a little bit. Maybe they'll be helpful. Dumpy Dalek says, we've got a massive Priamite warehouse. Yeah, orange glow. Ugh, horrible. You're going to retire your RASA soon. Wow. Why is that, mate? Use Antlia Triband, says Coke Photography. I've got a few different dual band and I think 1 quad band filter as well, and I do like to use them. It's just this target, I really wanted to see it in its kind of broadband glory for this particular test. I do want to shoot it again though with dual band at some point. William, just starting out with binos on a tripod with your smartphone. You got to start somewhere. Indeed, mate. That's a perfect starting point. Use your smartphone to point around and pick out your targets with your binoculars. Really good. Did you say you're in Lee? If so, I'm not far from you, Luke. No, near Leeds. Michael is what I said. Sorry, it's probably my accent, mate. Need a long-range pellet gun for those lights. Yeah, crikey. I've got a good mind if they don't help. Maybe just turn up one night with a pair of step ladders and adjust them myself while nobody's paying attention. Luckily, I have no street lights, says Duck. Oh, the envy that I feel, mate. The only street lights not close to your house. Ah, that's sick, mate. No one really cares for light pollution, it seems. Yeah, it's a bit of a tough one, isn't it, mate? Because I think it's one of those things that's quietly getting out of control, is light pollution. And I think it'll only get addressed when it's far too late. You know what I mean? Hopefully I won't do that with this. I will actually get around and write them an email and see what happens. Appeal to their better nature. Bottle 6 sky is good enough. What do you think? Well, it's better than my skies, mate. I can say that for sure. I think it'd be more than enough to get you a nice image. The only thing that you might struggle with at that kind of focal length, you've been shooting M51, is large scale gradients throughout your image, particularly if you're shooting near a city or something like that, where there might be a large light pollution dome contributing to that bottle rating. Dumpy Dalek says, I'm going to be putting my 10-inch newt in the obsi after I've upgraded the spider vanes. Ooh. Nice, mate. Yeah, the end of an era then for your Rasa by the sounds of it. I'm looking at Clear Skies chart and it says you have really great skies. Transparency is perfect and seeing is average. Cool. Where I live in the US, in Arizona, we have strict light pollution laws. No unshielded lights, and all businesses that are not open 24 hours need to shut off all outdoor lights at 10 PM. That's really cool. Yeah. I can imagine to someone who's, don't know why people are doing it, it might seem a little bit silly and maybe, unsafe in some regard, but I think more and more people are probably becoming aware of light pollution by this point. People are not into the game of astronomy and that kind of thing. Even without any lights, you're still bottle 5. Oof. That's wild, mate. We have to drive, what would you say, Chloe, about 25, 30 minutes or so to get into a bottle 5 from here? 20 minutes? Yeah. We've got one nearby. There's a lay-by we sometimes visit out near some fields. That sounds really sketchy, doesn't it? Purely for astronomy purposes. Yeah, but we sometimes go out there and take a look because it's got good clear horizons the whole way around. And the difference between bottle 5 and bottle 7 is pretty wild, I would say. Let's see. On the other hand, you're just a 30-minute drive away from bottle 3, says Gil. Wow. What's the point of my bottle 4 skies and no street lights when it's cloudy? Oh, yeah. Ooh, I wanted to test out a camera. Dare I ask, Simon? Dare I ask? Or is it a secret? John Stevens. Hoping our town will address the light pollution problem at some point as we're bottle 4 in town. But a 15-minute drive is bottle 2. Oof. Not much further, bottle 1. Incredible. Yeah, it'd be awesome if they could get even less lighting in your area and turn that bottle 4 into a 3 maybe or something. I've noticed the moon does a pretty good job at chasing away clouds. I've noticed that as well, James. Isn't that weird? How you always end up seeing getting your clear nights around a full moon. It's a bit annoying. Bring your telescope to the place and invite the boss to watch. Yeah. Wish I could get a more portable setup, mate. A bit of outreach and stuff would have been fun at some point. Dumpy Dalek says it'll be back again sometimes. That's in reference to your Rasa, yeah? But it's nice for a change. It is indeed, yeah. Not as much of a pain in the backside. Pete says, I'm about 1 hour away from Bottle 2 Skies, but hardly ever make the trip. Should really make an effort. I mean, yeah, crikey. Bottle 2. What is it at your kind of home location, Pete? Are you Bottle 4, I think you've mentioned to me? Or Bottle 3, maybe? If I'm recalling. You're thinking to buy an Optilong filter. Optilong make pretty good filters, mate, yeah. And Simon is reviewing the Altair Hypercam 533C. Nice. I think you're going to enjoy that, mate. I really like the 533 sensors. I think they're good. Lone Monk says 2.5 hours to a ball, 1 to 2. Whew. The only way to get away from lights here. Live right in front of Freedom Tower, Manhattan. Crikey. still, I imagine, I remember you mentioning to me you're quite mobile, like getting out and seeking those darker skies, Casey. So, yeah, I imagine you make the most of that journey sometimes, buddy. Ethan, I have some family that lives in a Bottle 1. Bottle 1! Jeez. You can't even see where you're looking at night. Yeah, I can imagine that is shocking. The darkest skies I've ever seen with my own eyes have been Bottle 4. And that were pretty shocking, coming from a Bottle 7. Able to actually just look up and see the Milky Way. Bit disorientating, really. You can see that many more stars. I kind of lost where I was looking. I suppose many of you guys out there are familiar with that feeling if you've got better skies. Why does my sea star image every night while my 8-inch Dob sits in my living room collecting dust? I love the sea star, mate. It's so easy to set up. I actually used it a few minutes today just as the sun was about to go down over some nearby houses. As I said, I wanted to check out the solar activity and those sunspots. In fact, I've probably got a picture I can show just on the stream in a moment if I can find it. Altair, I've just got the 585 out now. Nice one. Heading out, unfortunately, says Stefan. Thanks for the stream. Hope those clouds stay where they are now. Yeah, I hope so, Stefan. It looks like they are moving in a little bit though, mate. So, yeah, all the same. Thanks for joining in. Hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Damien, question. When you're doing a long session, do you sequence, say, 100 subs and let it go? I've had an issue with slight drift on the EQ6, and by the end of the session, the target is at the top. I see. Well, if you're not using auto-guiding, Damien, that would be the first thing I'd probably say to do that, and get that set up if at all you can, and that should stop that kind of thing happening. You can, you know, allow it to just auto-guide and dither within a set amount, and that should keep your target mostly centered. So I do indeed just let it go, but at the same time I'm auto-guiding so I don't have any drift. Shouldn't have much drift, by the way, if your polar alignment is very good as well. Coke says Bottle 2 shows starlight shadows on the ground. I've heard that before, yeah. I've heard it said that in Bottle 1 you can hold out your hand kind of thing and see its shadow on the ground from pure starlight alone, or like the brightness of the Milky Way's core. That kind of thing. Started breaking up the sequence up to lots of 20s and it re-slews. I think some software you can force a recenter past a certain amount of subs, so maybe that could be worth looking into, Damien. John Stevens is going camping for 10 days in a Bottle 1 area at 9,800 feet elevation. My word, mate. You're going to be above nearly all the clouds there, I would imagine. Just about everything. That's going to be insane. Clear nights every night, I bet. Clouds moving in, yeah. Looks that way, doesn't it? I hope it's just a little band and clear at the opposite side of them with any luck. We'll keep the sky cam on for a few moments and see what we can see. Auto guiding. Ah, so you are using auto guiding. Sorry, just catching up with your later messages there, Damien. Let's see. Yeah, hopefully these clouds will clear off. I'm remaining optimistic. Nina has a center after drift instruction, says Isaac. That's really handy. Thank you for sharing that info, Isaac. That could indeed be exactly what Damien's looking for. Simon might go to Kelling. Ooh, in September. Nice. I think if me and Chloe had a better way to get there and stay there, we'd definitely be up for doing that at some point. What Bottle Sky are you in? 7, mate, if you're asking me. Let's see. Went to Isla Sky, says Chris, M83, a couple of years ago in November. Winter clear skies in Ball 1, and it was totally amazing. But cold. I can only imagine, mate, yeah. Ooh, do we have the end of the clouds? Hopefully. Looks a little bit better off to that left-hand side now, over in the east of the shot. You use it even though you auto guide to correct for differential flexure, says Isaac. Nice. You know, I used to have flexure issues back in the day. Since then I've started to try and really bolt down any auto guiding rigs that I'm using. Because off-axis guiding, you don't really get that kind of issue, but yeah. Let's see. Dithering's a game changer for sure. Once I started dithering, I thought to myself, why didn't I start this earlier? Yeah. Same here, mate. I think I started off unguided, of course, as imagine, like everybody does. And yeah, it was great, but you do end up with fixed pattern walking noise in your images. It's just unavoidable. And then the first upgrade that I actually bought for myself was a guide camera from 365 Astronomy here in the UK, and I kept it for years. It really changed everything for me, did that, to be honest. Very chill stream, loving it. Glad to hear that, He-Man. Really glad to hear that, mate. Looks like we're getting into some clear skies again. That is good to see. So the next couple of subs should, with any luck, look a little bit better. Don't know if you guys can see, but the mean values there were around 21, 22 or so. That last sub, they crept right up to 2790. So pretty big increase. Hopefully we'll see that mean value go back down once the stars bugger off. CDs, my 12-year-old Celestron Advanced GT drifts, and I'm stuck at like 1 minute subs. Ooh. The other day while viewing the moon, when I moved the moon across the screen, one way and left, started drifting fast. Any idea why this happens? How is your rig balanced? I would ask. Sorry if I've made an absolute butchery of reading your comment there. My apologies. But yeah, I would ask, first of all, how is your rig balanced? It can sometimes be worth adding a small amount of deliberate imbalance. Usually you'd imbalance, in my case, it always used to be scope heavy, very slightly, so slightly heavier at the scope end and the counterweight end, and nose heavy on the scope in order to try and keep kind of a forced mesh on one side of your mount's teeth. As being balanced too perfectly can allow it to actually oscillate very slightly between its teeth in extreme situations. Hope that makes sense. Mirror flop, yep, indeed, Isaac, indeed. Should be, hopefully, chasing the flop if we are seeing any. With the off-axis guiding, of course. Oh, He-Man, thank you very much indeed for that, mate. That's incredibly kind. We've got all the members tonight. Crikey, thank you. And welcome on board, by the way, all the new members from Pete's very kind donation earlier, and now He-Man's as well. We've made 55 new members tonight. Unbelievable. Damien says, I use a ZWO 120MC and an SV Bonnie 50mm guide scope. Perfect, mate. Yeah, that's crikey. I used a guide setup pretty much just like that one for years, and it always did a great job. No complaints at all. Bob Henderson, Granile BC, Portal 1 in Canada. Oof. 54 degrees north, so no longer dark enough to shoot. Yeah, I think, where am I at here? About 53 and a bit north. Somewhere like that. Took me ages to start guiding. Tried the original PhD on your laptop and it kept freezing up. Jeez. Balance is the key. And I used the PhD guide assistant for at least 3 minutes. You know, I haven't utilized, excuse me for yawning there. I haven't utilized the guide assistant as much as I possibly should, but generally speaking, my EQ8 just seems to behave. Do you know what I mean? It never really gives me much issues. Psycho, good to see you, mate. I like the addition of the Skycam. I'm glad to hear that, mate. I really am. Steve Hand, how is it going, buddy? Good to see you. It's not going bad for me at all. I hope things are well for you too, mate. A friend couldn't calibrate his guiding shifting stars. Balanced his scope and fixed the problem. Yeah. Balance is one of those weird ones. Like I say, I mean, sometimes having too perfect balance can be an issue, but it all depends on your mount as well, how much wears on it, and what it's constructed like itself. For the cost of the EQ8, it should adjust the Earth. Yes, indeed, mate. Are links allowed in live chat? Isaac asks. I think I've got pretty much all links blocked by default, unfortunately, Isaac. I had to do that. I know it seems like a very heavy-handed blanket solution, but due to scammers effectively trying to post links in my video comments and stuff like that, I did it to protect anybody unknowingly clicking stuff. Sorry about that, mate. And He-Man, welcome. Everybody else is a member, mate. Why not you too? That's awesome. James, got to run. Have a good one. Hey, thanks very much indeed for popping by, James. Hope the sky's cleared up for you soon, buddy. Get back to that fantastic imaging setup that you have over there, mate. Steve says, I was just watching your video on collimation, and you have the same problem as me. You always go in the wrong direction. Yeah, 100% of the time. You'd think I'd remember, but I get there in the end anyway. Is your EQ8 hyper-tuned at all, Luke? Asks Gil. It isn't, mate, no. I bought it off a very nice chap who'd used it mainly visually. Would you believe it? Not that it's important information, but he actually kept it at a caravan, and we went out to his caravan site to go buy the thing. Or a bit of an odd situation. But yeah, it's just a kind of bog standard EQ8 Pro. So it's one of the final EQ8 Pro revisions right before the switched over to the EQ8 RH, I do believe. That kind of thing. Let's see. I need to watch a collimation video, but saw this and stopped by to say hi. Hey, appreciate it, mate. Yeah, I hope it's of use to you, Damien. I really do. I wanted to try and leave it as kind of raw as possible so that someone could see what it actually looks like and set a reasonable expectation too, rather than me trying to make a hyper-edited 3-minute long video and making it look like collimation's just like, you just do this, this, and this, and it's done. Because it's not like that. It's definitely iterative. Did you know there are more planes in the sea than submarines in the sky? I can imagine, yeah. What's your favorite galaxy? Ooh, good question. M104, I think. Sombrero. And that's really just from childhood images of it. Seeing that kind of thing in books and that sort of thing from Hubble imagery, basically. I'd love to really properly shoot it myself one year, but it is quite low. So maybe it's one for another time. Weirdly, my AZEQ 6GT likes to be just slightly off balance, so the gears engage, but the CGE Pro likes to be perfect balance. Yeah, that is an odd one, isn't it, mate? I've had, like I say, the same sort of thing. Misael. Precioso. I can't read that, but I'm just going to say the Nebula in Lyra, I guess. M57, because it's in Lyra. Major's got an image of the Ring Nebula. Go for it, Steve. Yeah, it's a beautiful target, mate. I think my collimation's okay, says Damien. I can get the perfect donut, but when I get focused and the target set up, the stars have a slight oval to them. Damien, I would ask, Are you always finishing with the autofocuser with the counterclockwise movement in order to settle the mirror against gravity on the focuser spline? Because if not, that could be what you're seeing. That slight elongation introduced by some degree of primary mirror tilt being introduced on that focuser mechanism. I also noticed on my flights a hell of a lot of dust specks. Yeah. Give it a good clean, mate. Oh, so you're using an RC6. Sorry, I've got you. Yeah, that could be... that's just hashtag Richie Chrétien things. They can be an absolute pain in the arse, really, to collimate, I would say. The bigger ones are okay, the ones with decoupled primaries, but the RC6 and RC8 can be a challenge, I'll admit. You did hypertune your HEQ5, and it was all the difference for me. Went from 1.2 arc seconds guiding error to half an arc second. Incredible. Lubo says the Whirlpool for shape and M33 for nebulosity. Yeah, I have to agree with M33 for the nebulosity side of things. There are some actually visually interesting nebula regions, aren't they, in M33? Pretty amazing stuff. Oh, you shot it recently, Damien. M104, that's cool. Linux Astro. You'll note that I did remember that it's Linux and not Linux, by the way. Good evening to you, mate. All jokes aside, thanks for joining in. It's very nice to have you here. Damien says the Sculptor Galaxy is great. Ooh, I'd love to see the Sculptor, but it only just gets above the horizon at its absolute peak elevation here in the UK. Steve asks, Luke, do you use a heater ring? Every time I use it, my stars got strange. Yeah, I do use them on my RASA, and it's okay. Just like with some adjustments that I did without a video and that kind of thing, I did find that I had to just loosen the tension of the ring ever so slightly. Otherwise, it could introduce kind of like a pinch effect, kind of the dew heater ring. I think it's just basically a little bit strong when run at full, so you can also get rid of it by attenuating its power. Could also be fan vibration. You can say it's shit, cost me 700. Sombrero is very beautiful galaxy. Even a 30-second exposure will show the dark dust lanes. Yeah. It's a bright one. It looks like we've just been very neatly photobombed there. A pair of parallel lines going through. Do we have any indication? I'd hope to see a middle one. I mean, it's like some sort of high altitude plane passing by. I think it's a bit small for that, really, actually. Recently read, you can now collimate and focus SCTs with the Tri-Batinov mask. It gives 18 points instead of 6. That's right, you can use a Tri-Batinov mask to assist you in collimation on those things, but I personally have never tried one. I've always had no real issue just doing it with the donut method, you know what I mean? Getting closer and closer. It becomes... Eventually, if on a night of better seeing, collimating just using an outfocus star can become an incredibly sensitive indicator of collimation accuracy. The closer you get to actual focus, the more accurate the test becomes effectively. AstroShed, hey up there, mate. How's it going? Is that an all-sky camera or a CCTV camera? It's just a CCTV camera, mate, yeah. So I did a bunch of Googling around after people mentioned on the last stream that they'd like to see a sky camera. And I found this Rio link, effectively, that claims that it could see in the dark. And it looks like from all the video reviews and stuff online that it effectively can. And so for about 70 quid, I got myself that. It's not too bad at all, I'd say. Yeah, looks all right. That speck up there that you can see, by the way, if you can just make it out up in the top of the image. It's not a hot pixel, but that is Vega. In fact, you can just about see Lyra itself as well beneath it. Use the donut method myself, and it works very well. Yeah. Good stuff. Excellent picture quality. Thank you, mate. Thank you. Yeah, I know I contacted you, I think, a few weeks back on one of your all-sky camera build videos. They were really good. Fantastic job on those, by the way, mate. But I just thought for what I want, something that I can plug straight into a live stream effectively like that. The security cam option did work out really rather well. Seems to do okay anyway. My friend also got a cable pull problem, so along with his balancing, I also had to fix his cable management. Yeah, true. Cable, like torque being applied, so when you're balancing, like Lubo was just talking about there, you can end up with, of course, snags being a potential issue at certain point angles, but also if you don't balance with everything, and I mean like literally everything in place, including just how it'd be used while imaging, so lens cap off, dew shield on, cables in place, all that kind of thing, can actually throw things out quite a lot if you don't do it with all that stuff in place and then go to add it later. Even like, let's say on my Edge HD out there, if I balance it, for example, with the lens cap on the end, it's not actually balanced. You know what I mean? As soon as I take it off, it's thrown out. Are you using EQ mod, Simon, or Green Swamp server? Much appreciated. Hey, no problem at all, mate. Just credit where it's due. Steve says, Luke, I appreciate watching you. I think you're very genuine. Oh, really kind of you to say, mate. Thank you. I do try to take great care to not miss messages if at all possible. I know that leaves me playing catch up a lot, but yeah. I think if someone's taking the time to contact me, I should definitely try to take the time to you know, to at least react. Only seems fair. Let's see. Someone mentioned earlier on that I should really be setting up a little live stack along with this, and I think they're right. So let's go ahead. We'll minimize Nina a sec and open up SharpCap and see if I can't do some folder monitor live stacking on this thing and see where we are. You've heard Green Swamp server is good. I know you're not asking me, but I'll chime in anyway on that one. Green Swamp server does seem good, indeed. I tried it out once on the AZ GTI. It was the only thing that it would play with when I tried to use it with a mini PC and a laptop one time. Right. I can't remember now if we can do this from here. Yeah, folder monitor camera. And I'll just point this to the M57 folder for tonight. So, source folder. Documents, Nina, and this session. Lights, here we go. So let's let this run through and run some live stack in a moment. So the snapshots got put in their own separate folder, so hopefully they won't give us any issues. I think on this one we'll run the background subtraction. So we'll hopefully get rid of some of that vignette, maybe just non-linear gradient removal. We'll give that a go. And at that, we'll let it run. Let's see what happens there. We've got 22 frames that we can stack. Let's see how this thing looks, if it will indeed stack up in any manner. Usually, I think when it's trying to stack a full frame, it will be a little bit laggy and take a while. If we just check status, see what happens. Catch up with the chat a little bit. Linux says, I have to balance my Raptor in focus since I put an ASI 2600 on it. Yeah, even stuff like that, mate. The amount of focuser draw tube extension. Yeah. Unbelievable. Oh, we got our first frame that it's bothered to live stack. So the stacking time at this point is 22.5 seconds. Crikey. That's rough. I don't want to stress this program out too much. So we could do with applying a bit of a mid-tone stretch. And now I'll let it run a balance on the colors too, and hopefully get it close. So that's 2 subs stacked. We'll increase the zoom a little bit now as well. Maybe like 50% or something. If anybody uses Astrospheric, you can see my location listed as Astor Home Observatory, just west of Daytona Beach, Florida. Nice! So yeah, what we're looking at on screen right now is a live, I say live stack, you know what I mean, semi-live now, of 4 subs. So only 8 minutes of data on M57. It's just working its way through stacking these, but it's taking ages, of course, because it's a slow PC to stack these frames up. Wish we had something like Astrospheric here in Europe. Such a great tool. Never actually tried it out, you know. I guess because I live in Europe. But is it possible to live stack a region of interest? You know, it isn't, I don't think. After the fact, I think you have to stack the full frames. But when capturing frames and stacking live, like live with the camera attached, then you can indeed live stack just with the region of interest. And I do use that regularly too, because, well, for this reason, really. If you're shooting something that only occupies a very small portion of the field of view, it makes no great sense to have the PC needlessly sweating and stacking up all this stuff around the outside that you're not really that interested in seeing. I think I'm going to leave it for tonight. I can't get my words out right. Oh, sorry to hear it, Steve. I think I read earlier on that your speech to text is playing up a little bit. Did you know? Ooh. Seems like Google's always listening in. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Hang on. Well, I was actually named after, I don't know if anybody's seen the film Cool Hand Luke. That's what my mum and dad called me after. Paul Newman in that film. The guy who eats tons of eggs. Image is looking good, Luke. Hey, thank you. Dumpy Dalek hasn't imaged the Ring Nebula for a while now. I'll make it a point this year. Yes, mate. I look forward to seeing that one. It's looking alright, isn't it? I have to say, it's looking okay. This is only really just a preview of what it's going to look like, of course. When I stack this for real, I'll do it likely in Astro Pixel Processor, along with flats and bias, calibration frames like that. And that hopefully should get us a nicer end result than this, as this is quite a rudimentary-ish stacking method that it uses. And then at that point, of course, we can go ahead and process it in PixInsight 2 and see if we can really pull out more detail by using things like BlurXTerminator and seeing the limits of deconvolution on this thing. Let's see. Meteor Blue. Greens from Australia. I'll not say your name. Just wanted to say you're my inspiration that's got me into astrophotography. Oh, mate, that's really kind. Keep up the great videos, and thank you very much for your dedication and hard work. My absolute pleasure, good sir. Thank you very much indeed for sharing that comment. That's really kind of you. Is it possible to stack the sky cam? Probably. I don't really know, because I think there's only a couple of stars visible. It might be a bit of a pain actually getting it to work, at least in terms of star stacking. Gonna have to go now, says Simon. Glad I caught the stream. Catch you all later. Hey, thanks for popping in, Simon. As always, mate, I appreciate your time. Hope you have a good one. Zoom in just a touch more, eh? Let's take a look at this thing at 100%. So we're looking at 12 minutes total now, live stacked right there. I think once this live stack's finished and caught up with the current amount of frames, which is 24, as I'm saying this, we can probably save this, copy it across to my PC itself, and we'll just take a quick look at it inside of PixInsight as well. And it'll be a little bit of fun that we can do. Oh, getting PhD bonging away. What's going on there? Crikey, my PC has become majorly unresponsive at the minute. Seems to have had some issues with some very large, unresolved movements there. I wonder what all that's about. No matter, we'll set it off guiding again and keep an eye on things. Kevin says, looks like the forecast clear skies here in Chester aren't going to materialise. Oh, sorry to hear that, Kevin. Hey, thanks for popping in though, mate, and spending some time. As I say, it's always appreciated spending some time with you guys. Right. Let's take a quick peek at Nina. Oh yeah, that's a bad frame. Jeez. I'm probably going to delete that one before the SharpCap live stack even reaches it. Should hopefully side stack the issue of it still stacking it because of those bright cores. So here's where it being slow as molasses is a bit of an advantage actually. So documents, Nina, and this is, what frame is that? Can't actually see. It must just be the last one. Good grief, this thing's running slow right now. Super duper frustrating, you know, using a mini PC for like this live stream now. Damien says, alright, I'm off. Taking the lad for an x-ray. Suspected broken finger. Oof. Hope your son's alright, mate. That's what a way to kick off your day. Jeez. Have a good one, mate. Thanks for popping in. Wow, this is so laggy. We're getting there. So it was number 25. No. Both of those are bad. So we'll delete 25 and 24. Never used sky stacking yet. Does anybody here, by the way, just by way of asking a larger audience, does anybody use ECOS for their imaging? I've heard good things about it and always wondered because I'd like to try and use, you know, the Raspberry Pi based imaging platforms at some point. Wow, what's going on? We're having some serious issues here. Oops. Okay, we've lost our remote desktop for a minute there. This mini PC is definitely not happy. Oh dear. I'll pop Skycam on a minute for you, as that's more interesting than looking at a bloody Windows login screen. See if we can't solve this issue. How's your guiding, Chloe? No issues. Just something on my end then. Very odd. Marco's Nidar has tried. Huh. Did you just not get on with it, I guess, Marco? Does ASIR count as ECOS? I think it does, yeah. Yeah, I really like the ASIR for all its, kind of drawbacks, I suppose, and slight flaws. It is nice. Linux. Oh, that's awesome, mate. Thank you for chiming in there. Part of the K-Stars package. It is good and works well, but it's not your favorite user interface. Using ECOS after using ASIR was like a trip 15 years into the past. Oof. Yeah. Probably don't fancy that too much, actually. Alright, so this live stack is unfortunately causing my PC to just about give up. It's just not working. So I think I'm gonna quit the live stack idea. It's just too much for this mini PC, it seems. There we go, so it's paused, at least. Maybe now I can delete this last frame that I need to. Goodness, this is running so bad tonight. Right. Let's check in Nina. So my last frame that it finished. See if it looked any good. If we can beat an autofocus frame coming in. We can't. Oh, there we go. Yes, that was bad too. I'll delete that. That's all I needed to see. Just to check that frame 26 right there was also a duff. Right, so I think we had 22 to 23 good ones. I'll trim 22 as well, as that's around about when things start going wrong. Let this autofocus finish, and then maybe we can potentially hit play once again on that live stack if guiding starts to behave. We'll see. Looking at the Stellar mate to use in the field, but it's still pretty buggy. Okay. This is a good demo of actual events. I happen to agree, mate. Yeah, I think so much of astronomy, at least in videos, I try to avoid doing this myself as much as possible. It just shows like the highlight reel of everything going right and like, oh, here's a beautiful image. It's easy. It's not. Some nights it's a right pain, you know what I mean? And I think tonight is probably going to end up being one of those. We'll see. But yeah, I think setting realistic expectations is very important. There's a big advantage with the indie drivers in that the images end up on your PC instead of on the remote Pi or the PC. Ah, that's interesting. Space stuff uses ASI Air Filter Plus. Does that say? Makes polar alignment painless. Nearly caught up, I think, guys. Sorry about the kind of delayed chat responses here. Actually, a bad night is not getting anything because of technical issues, so I think you're doing well. Yeah. Fair point, actually. Fair point, well made, yeah. I use CCDL. Can't do CL with indie drivers on a Pi on all my rigs. Nice. Let's see. Use Voyager. A few of my friends mentioned Voyager. It seems to be my Australian friends who mentioned Voyager rather than anybody else. I don't know if there's some sort of, correlation there. Nearly missed that. Ever thought of getting an Eagle from Prima Luce Lab? I know they're quite expensive for what they do, but they do pack a punch of the kind of stuff that you do with live second and doing the capture. Good suggestion. Actually, Gil, yeah, I have looked at those and I got put off a little bit because of the cost. Exactly as you mentioned, really. Maybe I shouldn't though. You know what I mean? At times like this, when things are running super duper slow, it'd probably be worth it, wouldn't it? We've all had those bad nights. Sometimes you just take a deep breath and switch it all off. Yes, indeed, mate. Deep Sky Dad's Astro. Evening, Luke. Not sure if you remember, a long time ago you were testing a scope, and I asked if you have seen the SH2106, the Angel Nebula. You checked it out and you said there wasn't enough reach. Ooh, do you think the Edge 11 would have Nebula's in Cygnus? Probably then, mate. Yeah, if the scope I was using last time was the Rasa, potentially that's the last time I was really doing live streams, was with that telescope. Then for planetary nebulas, that's a bad fit. This is a good fit, so maybe so. You could try 120 seconds first try. Well, the cost of an Eagle, you can have free ASI airs. Yeah, true. I guess you are limited to just purely ASI gear at that point, aren't you? It goes without saying, but you know. All the kind of stuff that I've got in the observatory is a real mix now of stuff. I've got Player 1 gear in here, some QHY stuff, and ASI stuff. Tariq, good to have you in chat, mate. 4 mini PCs, yeah, they're about the same cost, aren't they? You can use a Pi with any drivers on your mount and the Windows version of CCDL on your PC. Unlike ASCOM, the drivers are on the remote Pi and communications. Can't see the rest of that, unfortunately, for an icon. It's via a network port, no remote in. Are you imaging this evening, Tariq? By any chance? It seems a few people are, but it seems also quite a lot of people have unfortunately been rained off just recently. I'm one of the lucky ones, it seems, with a little bit of clear sky. Let's take a quick look at the sky camera. Things seem to be looking alright. Oh, thank you, E-Man. It's really kind of you, mate. Hit those like buttons. Yes, please. Came here late, but nice to see you live again. Hey, thank you, mate. Really appreciate you spending some time. Jenny X says, so rather than trying to attach a mini PC to the telescope, attach better cables to a home desktop. Ooh. I think if you can have a desktop out in the observatory and you keep your cable length down, then maybe so. Because I know that USB 3 doesn't, you know, sometimes like to go over long distances without a repeater, it seems. Still playing with your new power box. Nice one. Power's here for the next week or so for you, Linux. Oof. But you can run PixInsight on your Eagle. I did not know that. So on the Premium Luce Eagle, you can run PixInsight, eh? Jeez. Must have a decent processor. Won't want to try and run PixInsight on this thing. Crikey. Nice to see, by the way. I don't know if you can see just up the top, right there where my mouse pointer is. There's a irregular shaped little galaxy popping up in every single sub. It's not, you know, strong, but it's there. I always love seeing stuff like that in my images. Walter, how's things going, mate? Nice of you to come and stop by, mate. Dumpy Dalek says, with the CGE Pro, with the on-step kit, connect via ASCOM wirelessly. Luca came late, so what setup are you running here? So, Tariq, I am running the Celestron Edge HD 11 at native focal length, so no reducer, That's 2800 mils f10. I've got that paired up with a full frame camera, an IMX455 based Player One Zeus in this case. And as far as any filtration, just a UV IR cut filter on this thing. We're going with 2-minute subs tonight, and all this capture, apologies for the kind of semi-boring nature of this kind of live stream tonight, but I'm actually capturing this for a video that I hope to make soon. Soon TM. Yeah, as soon as I possibly can. Once I've gathered up enough data anyway to make it actually worth showing you guys. But yeah, what that video is eventually going to be is a comparison between two different ways of going about capturing small targets such as this one. We're having a big guiding error right now. Goodness knows what's going on. Pulse guide command to the mount has failed. Guiding is likely to be ineffective. Okie dokie. Well, that's not good. I think we'll just stop guiding a moment. Set it off refreshing. Pick a different star. Try again and see if it behaves this time. Who knows what's going on tonight, guys? It seems to be not very happy during this session. But yeah, this video anyway is going to end up being two different ways of shooting very small targets. One is going to be with a small, tight sensor with small pixels, such as the 585, which I've got on the Ascar 120 Apo. That's on the other pier tonight, also shooting M57. Or doing the traditional method, which is shooting with a great big, long focal length telescope, you know what I mean, and going after it that way. Which thought it'd be interesting to see. It's definitely an interesting enough question for me, anyway. Let's just catch up here a second. Miguel says I run 32-foot powered USB cables and they work great. Good to hear that, mate. Yeah. So powered ones are working okay over that kind of distance, a 10-meter cable. Nice. Steve was asking what's the focal length on the telescope you're using right now. 2800 mil. Steve. F10 as well on this thing. Use a pair of USB to USB cable converters. You can run more than 1,000 feet that way. Jeez Louise. Yeah, that's longer than I'd need. Galaxy's IC1296, that's it. Magnitude 15.4. Crikey. Pretty faint then. Have you ever used manual mode in Nina polar alignment? I haven't, Duck, no. I always use 3-point polar align, you know, the plugin you can get. I used it a couple of times, and then once I'd really bolted down my EQ8, I just check it, not very regularly, and it's never out, so I haven't needed to adjust it yet, even through all these different scope changes. You know what I mean? I've gone through changing the RC10 onto this, to the RASA for a while, and now the Edge 11, so a lot of jostling around of the mount, but never seems to mind. Pier seems to be rock solid. Gil says, depending on your temps tonight, the mini PC could be throttling with these loads. Potentially, mate. Yes, potentially. Oh, Steve says, good night. Good to get ready to image. Looking forward to talking again. Hey, thank you very much indeed, Steve. Always nice to catch up, mate. Yeah, always nice. Have a good one. Mark. Hi, Luke and chat. Hello there, Mark. Thanks for stopping by, mate. John asks, would you consider binning 2x2 on the imaging camera? That's up in the air at the minute, John. Good question, yeah. So sometimes, yes, but I did a recent test. It was a bit of an otherwise probably pretty boring video, but with the RC10 that I was reviewing for a while, and I tried bin 1 versus bin 2 on that thing, and I actually found out that I was leaving some resolution on the table by using bin 2. So I kind of switched over to exclusive using bin 1 on that thing, and ended up getting better images for it. Hope that answers where I'm coming from with that one. Failed astronomer, your M57 looks great. Thank you, mate. I imaged it last week with a CLS, and I lost all the yellow in the image. Yeah, CLS's city light suppression filters, they often do block out, as you say, all the yellow really, because that's the colour of sodium kind of street lamps that way on, and I think that's what those filters most attenuate. So that does make sense. Yeah, may try it again without it at 2000mm f10. Go for it, mate. Yeah, I think you'll get a nice result. Not had any clear skies here for about 2.5 months, says Michael. Oof. That's probably the worst one we've had tonight then. 2.5 months. Dark Pixel says, sorry Luke, I didn't hear. What's the brand of your camera? So it's a Player One Zeus 455C. So it's a full frame IMX 455. You can liken it effectively to an ASI 6200 MC Pro. It's basically the same sort of thing, just in a different build, really. Montana, hello from Billings, Montana. Hello, mate. Hello to you too. Seiko says, okay, so you used the 585 on the 8-inch Rasa. How would you compare it to the 183? I strongly prefer the 585 to the 183, but that's just me. I found it just easy to use and calibrate, you know what I mean? The slightly smaller pixels on that 183, of course, if that matters to you, getting every last iota of possible spatial resolution at a given focal length, but you know, for me, I'd much rather just have the better sensor, which seems to be the 585. I hope that answers that one for you. I use a CLS on the stars and galaxies and L-Enhance on Nebula, says Paul. Nice. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of nebula, but generally speaking, I go with that, yeah. Dual narrowband does a good job in all its flavors. I know there's an absolute sea of dual narrowband filters out there. We really seem to be having some issues guiding tonight. And this is right after I said my EQ8 just behaves. And now it's not. It's clear, yeah, Chloe? Looking good. It looks good on Skycam. Wonder what's causing all these issues here, guys. We may never know. It must be putting in some guide effort, because there's no way I'm going 2 minutes practically unguided on this thing at this focal length. Jack, good to see you, Jack. Just tripped across this stream. Well, I hope you didn't hurt yourself with the trip, mate. That was terrible as far as jokes go, and I should feel bad, and I do. The Zeus, yeah, it's a lovely camera. Hello from steamy west coast of Florida. Steamy, is that what it's called? What an awesome place, location name there, mate. I think your deck guiding is acting up. I would be inclined to agree, Isaac, yeah. Seems to be sending pulses, but not really listening. I think I'll shut down PhD. We'll fire it back up and let it re-establish a connection, and hopefully, maybe, it'll behave itself. Let's see if this fixes things at all. For one-shot color with a light pollution filter, how do you handle color balance? Asks Kevin. Good question, Kevin. It can be a bit of a wrestle, depending on what you are trying to actually get from your images in the end. But oftentimes, just using PixInsight, this is from that kind of thing. You can sometimes input which filter you're using into spectrophotometric color calibration, and that takes care of things quite nicely. Paul Smith. You're imaging with the GSO RC6, a 067 reducer, 183 MC Pro, and an SV Bonnie guide scope. Nice one. Let's see, that's a rig with some potential there, sir. First light with your new mount tonight, sorting through the snags. Ugh, that's a bad sub, innit? Look at the state of that thing. Let's see. So the subs leading up to this last one looked okay, so we'll just get rid of this one. I'll call them as they come in. The sub right before. Let's let that one load in and see how it appears. Don't feel bad. Still good skies in Ohio. Good to hear that, Jack. Space Rocks and Stardust. Hey there, buddy. Good to see you in another stream. Thanks for stopping by. Hence, oh right, 80 to 95%. So hence steamy. Got you. Thought it was like a location called Steamy. Dew control is a must. Yeah, it's often very high humidity here too, mate. Not quite steaming though. More just raining nearly all the time. Gil says, do you stack your Zeus full frame images in PixInsight? No, I tend to do it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with PixInsight stacking, but I'm just that used to now stacking in AstroPixel Processor and that kind of workflow that I do it inside there, basically, mate. A lot more time to stack than your 24 megapixel ones, yeah. Yeah, so the Zeus subs, to give you an idea, each sub before debayering is about 120 megs, is it, I think? Yeah, 119.5 megabytes. So after debayering in PixInsight, etc., if you do it that way, they get pretty big. Bidalik says, as much as I love the IDAS filter, I did sometimes struggle with the colours. Currently trying out the Antlia Triband. Getting the colours right seems easier. Oh, got another bad sub. Although I haven't tried it on. Fair enough. Oh no. Cloudy for you, Space Rocks. So living vicariously through you. I'm glad to be of use, mate. That's at least good to hear. Now, what on earth is going wrong with my guiding tonight? It's why is it suddenly playing up? I wonder if a slightly faster rate might get us more corrections per minute, you know what I mean? And hopefully keep it on target a little bit better. Let's see. This, there's bright enough stars in the field of view here that I can use 1 second guide exposures. Looks a bit noisy on PhD, don't it? But should work, I think. Let's see how that goes anyway. Hopefully we'll get an improvement. And I do need to delete this sub as well. So is that 33 now? Yeah, number 33. Right, got rid of that one. Ever use Cyril for stacking? Asks Linux Astro. I have, mate, yeah, in the past. And I mean, this is like a long time ago, but yeah, I had used it back then, and it was alright. But I think, I don't know, felt a little bit convoluted to use, but maybe that was just my unfamiliarity with it. The ring is looking good. Very nice. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, it's not looking too bad, mate. I think some of the earlier subs did look better while it was still kind of behaving itself, but hopefully we'll get it back working shortly. What do you use for storage? A NAS? No, Kevin. Literally just my hard drives, and I pull all the files across my network at the end of the session when I'm done. So, like, because I'm using remote desktop, I can just, Control A, copy all of those, and then paste them on my main PC. And even though it's on a completely different PC, it will just drag them straight across my network to wherever I want them. It might sound crap, and it probably is, but it does work. It's simple enough for me. Has anyone tried the ASIR color to mono bin function? Is that just, binning without debayering, I suppose? It should be really no benefit, I would imagine, over just instead letting it do color binning. I was using the Antlia tri-band, but then I got a quad band, and I love it. Interesting. Bad spot on the gears, awesome cable snag. Could be Gil. I'm trying to remember now. I think the gear period for the EQ8 at least the worm gear is about 8.5 minutes or something, if memory's serving. It certainly seems to be going away now, luckily. So maybe it was a bad spot, not on the worm itself, but on the actual, you know, main gear on the mount, perhaps. Who's to say? Not sure what the period is on that one. I hope I haven't cursed it now and we start going back to really bad guiding, because it's looking pretty good at the minute. 0.46 total error. Can't complain. Take a quick look at the Skycam. Not looking too bad. Very bright. As you can see, the skies are not exactly the darkest here. But we're, you know, we're doing what we can. And it appears we've just kicked off a autofocus. So I do have this aggressively autofocusing throughout this session. I really wanted to make the most of this clear night, and like we had a brief segment of clear night. Boy, I only got 5 subs, so it's not important. But I had it refocusing every 20 minutes, so far more frequently than I usually would. Chasing it effectively. I had some issues with it dropping out of focus, but it seems to be solved by just refocusing more frequently. Oop. Sorry, I've missed some messages here, guys. Just trying to catch up a little bit. To help with the file size, you can save subs as lossless compressed. Ah, so compressed ZISF. Nina, interesting. As I do my stacking in APP though, like I say, I need them to not be in XISF. Space Rocks uses Cyril exclusively for stacking. Ah. Michael O'Brien, nice M57. Thank you. Use a 12-inch newt in a pulsar observatory. Lovely. What a nice setup that is, mate. I love big newts. As much as a pain as they can sometimes be if they don't want to play ball, when they're working good, a good quality newt, you know what I mean? Incredible. Hard to beat. My throat's drying up. Yeah, actually, Chloe, yeah, a bit of water, thank you. Wow, that's a bit better. Oof, keep drifting down in my seat as well. I'm becoming a right lounge lizard. Right, you may have to drop a few frames where the guidance failed. Yeah, I've been trying to call them as they arrived, basically, Paul. Keeping an eye sort of thing on the Nina screen. We were going to do a live stack, but it seemed like the problems started to occur while the live stacking was going on. So I don't know if it was just asking too much from this system. Maybe causing delayed reactions in the guider. I don't know, but I don't like the style that it shows the guide on there. So we're going to go for that one. Now the autofocus has just finished. Nina reselects itself a guide star, and sometimes I think it picks poorly. It's probably my settings that need adjusting though to make it stop doing that. Tried stacking on Cyril and DSS, says Gil, but local normalization in Pixie Sight is like black magic. Yeah. Yeah, so APB also offers that same kind of thing, local normalization, and yeah, it's hard to go back in it to stack a software that doesn't have it once you've experienced it. Cheap Astro, yoo-hoo. How's it going, buddy? Out in my observatory and caught this happening again. Awesome. Well, it's very, very nice to have you here again. Thank you for coming and spending some of your evening with me, mate. Oldsmar Bottle 7, St. Pete Club's Dark Sky Site at Withlacoochee. Is that correct? Withlacoochee, River Park, Bottle 4 to 5. Apologies if I'm Slaying these names. Just got an ad. Yes, apologies if you are seeing ads, but needs must, you know. A man's got to eat. And thank you again, by the way, guys, for the support that we got shown. It's absolutely awesome of you. Let's see. Hey up, Nugsy. Oh, can you hear him? Can you hear him, Titch? He's asleep right behind my chair. Is Nugget the pug? I'm just patting him now. In fact, I'm not allowed to move. He's blocking me in. Apologies if you're actually referring to someone else. Using the... Oh, I see. Cheap Astro. Are you called Nugsy? If so, I'm sorry. I've just been talking about my dog, who's also called Nugget. Let's see. So this is our first sub after that autofocus. And that one looks really good. That one looks really good. That's the best sub I've seen all night, I'd say. We appear to be able to split those two stars easily, and I can see... I don't know if I'm just imagining things, but it looks like a hint of those extra 2 stars as well right there. I do have a an image I took not long back, just as a very quick test on the edge where I was able to split those comfortably. If you just get it up on the screen for you. So, close down these. Yeah. Those are the stars I'm talking about, kind of thing. We were able to just kind of pick them apart nicely. So this was just 26 1-minute shots. So hopefully we'll have a much richer image than this after tonight's session. If those 2-minute subs are still working. But that showed easily, I would say, my most detailed M57 to date. Even with that quite brief test. Pretty nice. Fit Medic. Hey Luke, listening while I set up the image tonight in Asheville, North Carolina. Awesome, mate. Well, I hope you've got a really good session ahead of you. Let's see. Brody, welcome back, mate. Almost down to 2 hours dark time for you, Space Rocks. You've still got me beaten then, buddy. We're down to none right now. Let's see. I have my ASR set to refocus every 2 hours after a filter change, after a flip, or after 2 degrees. Yep. That sounds good, mate. In most situations, you're going to catch every event that would force a defocus there, aren't you? I use sharp cap and capture all frames and then restack offline after deleting the bad ones. So you go through manually, I guess, Paul, by kind of like by eye and filter that way. I think that is a really good way to do it, but it is time consuming, isn't it? Mr. Django, greetings to all from Belgium. Hello to you too, mate. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I've left this image on screen, haven't I? Completely phased out. Oh, we've just been photobombed as well. Nearly straight through the center of M57 there. I'm Nugsy, your dog too. Yeah. Sorry about that, mate. I'm just still trying to catch up with chat, so sorry if these replies are coming dead late. I just don't want to leave anybody feeling like they've been ignored. Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Lovely picture. Hey, thank you. Thank you, guys. Glad you like it. I was really pleased with how that turned out, to be honest. My previous best M57 was pretty good. But I feel like that's head and shoulders above now, so probably a good signal that this edge is a nice scope. Easy to spot the bad ones. Yeah, absolutely, mate. You got musked. I have indeed, I've been musked. Crikey. Look at the state of that. Nearly straight through the galaxy as well. Good aim. Of all the things you can say about Mr. Musk, having bad aim isn't one of them. Yours, sorry, Chloe? Yours is rotated 90 degrees from this, isn't it? Yeah. It's time to retire. Catch you later. Hey, thank you for dropping by, Titch. Hope you and Nikki have a good time together, mate. 10-inch f4 OTA, carbon fiber tube. Just move all the hardware over. Yeah, a nice carbon fiber tube is a bloody nice upgrade for a Newt, ain't it? I've had up to a 12-inch Newt. That was my biggest one that I owned, and it was a steel tube, Skywatcher 300 PDS, and the mirror kind of cell end was heavy enough that you could see miscollimation occurring from one side of the sky to the other. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Just through that tube, very slightly flexing. Starlink satellites are my biggest problem, other than clouds. Yeah, I mean, as much as like we moan about them and stuff, quite rightly, they shouldn't be such a mess. But I never really have any issues with them when it comes to stacking, thanks to just, you know, Kappa Sigma rejection. Gets rid of everything like that as long as you've got enough frames to reference from. If anybody would like, by the way, that could be a video I could do at some point, perhaps. Just pick a bunch of subs that all have satellite trails and stuff in them and see if we can stack and effectively get rid of them all at the same time, you know, without deleting them. Don't know if that'd be of any interest to people, but it could be a cool experiment. Benny, good to see you, Benny. So far, gotten 6 hours of data on the North American Nebula. Ooh, on your new full frame camera. I found out yesterday that my computer can't handle stacking the 500 or so 75 meg files. Oh man, that sucks. Time for a new PC, dude. You should try Lucky Imaging with the Edge. Absolutely, Brody. Yeah, I do want to do that. 100%, mate. 100%. Stacking several chunks, then stack the stacks. That's really good advice. Yes. Break it up. Bite-sized chunks. An Astro Bingo card from Satellite Trails. Can I send you my subs from nights when all the incoming flights to Atlanta come over my house? Hey, maybe, mate. I don't know how effective it'd be, actually, getting rid of subs that are, like, really badly bombed. But, it could be interesting to see, couldn't it? So it seems we're having either a really good autofocus has occurred, which I don't know about, because it should have quite a large critical focus zone at f10, this telescope. So, not sure what's going on there, or whether we've entered a period of slightly better seeing tonight, because we're seeing lower HFRs on these very latest subs than at any other point in the night. They look like the best subs yet. I'm not going to complain. Certainly not going to complain. How long do we have before we hit dawn once again? So what's that? Around about 2:15, 2:20. Also, it seems like on the dark sky calculator. We're also at the highest elevation we've been at all night, so that probably feeds into why the subs are looking better than ever as well. Looking through a bit less atmosphere, you know. I noticed some objects get almost no satellite trails. On the other hand, I get almost every sub a trail. That's a tough one, mate. I think it's even worse, isn't it? If you're imaging with a wider focal length, you're going to capture so many more Starlinks and stuff all over those things. Jack Bernstein agreeing about SSDs. That's your Pixie Set computer. Just rejuvenated your Mac by moving the boot drive to an NVMe M.2. Nice. An astro image of just photo bombing could be fun. I don't know if you look at APODs at all, but sometimes I do. And I remember one of them, not so recently, but, you know, this last year, an APOD was won by someone who'd stacked up solely satellite trailed images, and it looked a right mess, but it also showed you just how much junk is floating around up there in space. Have you used the 120 Apo again since the review? Still recommend, asks Nate. Every clear night, mate. Yeah, every clear night it gets used. It's sat on the second pier in my observatory, and yeah, we like it. We like it a lot. I'm really impressed by it, I have to say. Can't really say anything bad about it. Surprisingly good, especially for the money. Don't need a very fast CPU. Not sure I'm on board with that one, Gil. I noticed that when I changed from a Ryzen 5 3600 to a Ryzen 9 5900X, so, you know, a ton more cores and each core faster, but everything else the same kind of thing in my PC, stacking time went down dramatically, as it can just chew the numbers that much faster. What's the 120 Apo F ratio? So the 120 Apo currently has the 1.0 times flattener on there, so it's a f7, 860mm of focal length. What latitude are you at? I'm at 53, I think, 53 north. CPU speed isn't nearly as important as CPU thread count. Yeah, quite probable. I expect that's likely a large amount of what I saw, the amount of available cores and threads, rather than just the raw speed increase for each of those cores. But whatever it was, it was a pretty big boost, you know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's used the PixInsight benchmark tool. You've seen that? North Pole's just a stone's throw. Yeah, it's we're pretty far north, but you know, a lot of people up in Norway, Sweden, that kind of thing have it far worse. It's even worse, of course, just even if you go to Scotland. Pretty mad. 211 Milkman. Just saw you streaming, 53 north, I'm at 43. Nice, mate. Unless you do solar, 24/7 continuous solar monitoring, yeah. Oh, I wonder how far it is north you have to go for that. You know, where the sun never actually goes below the horizon. I watched a video from someone who'd been up to, I think, Svalbard, and they stayed there during that period, and apparently one of the hardest things to adjust to was sleep. Your brain's just saying, you know, it's go time, let's stay awake. So they have, you know, really good blackout blinds on windows and things like that, as far as I know. Old PC died a week ago. Oh, sorry to hear it, mate. But yeah, it is a nice opportunity. Out with the old, in with the new. Enjoy that that stacking, mate. All right, so that's at 66 degrees. Thank you for that, Paul. Don't know if anybody remembers, but I think Top Gear did a special up there as well. Where they were trying to drive to the North Pole or something like that. Is your imaging plan still going okay, Chloe? Good, good stuff. Seems like Chloe's had a bit more luck than me tonight with the ASCII 120 rig. She's, as I said, I don't know if people have missed, but the whole point of imaging this thing tonight, if I could get rid of this gas, I'm so sorry. I keep swallowing air while I talk. Right, yeah, the whole point of imaging M57 tonight is as part of a a comparison between two different methods of shooting small, specifically small bright targets, you know, like Planetary, Nebula, that kind of thing. So I'm shooting it with the Edge HD11 and the full frame camera and all that good stuff. And Chloe's going after it with a much smaller setup. So the Ascar 120, the flattener, and then a 585 based camera. Both have nearly the exact same effective field of view. As it happens, it's quite interesting. Did they make it to the North Pole? If I recall, I think they did make it. It was a bit of a race where one of them was using dogs and a sled, and the other ones went in a large Nissan 4x4. This is going back some years, so my memory might be a bit foggy. But where are we now? Astronomy field of view calculator. I'm going to show you the field of view of these two rigs. So I'll just enter the focal lengths. We don't have to put the rest in really, just the camera sizes. So 6200 M57. And someone says the Grand Tour is better. Yeah, I agree. Probably it is now. At first I wasn't so sure, but I did end up enjoying the Grand Tour quite a bit. So yeah, the other telescope is 860 focal length with a, oh, they're right there, 585. So wildly different focal lengths, very different cameras, and very much different overall arc seconds per pixel resolution. But the field of view between them is extremely comparable, I feel. So I thought it'd make for an interesting comparison. Yeah, it should be good. I hope to be able to share that with you as soon as possible, Gil. But yeah, pretty neat. Thought I minimize that down. Oh, here we go. Thanks, Musk, once again. Let's see. Space stuff. Tonight, I'm using my ASI 2600 MC Pro APS-C. It's fairly easy on the computer. Lovely camera, mate, that, yeah. I owned a 2600 MC Pro for a while. Absolutely loved it. Really good bit of kit. And now I have something very, very similar as well. The Player One Poseidon. That's also the exact same sensor. And I agree. It's a nice balance between kind of file size, field coverage, etc. Good bit of kit. Paul Smith, just getting back into AP after an 18-month hiatus due to a knee injury. Oof. Tripped and fell at a dark sky site. Wow. Jeez, man. Well, I hope you're all better now, mate. That absolutely sucks that you got injured doing something you enjoy. Like, you know, it just sucks full stop getting injured, but even more so, I think, when you're doing a leisure activity. That's rough. Coke is imaging at 1625. So what scope are you using for that then, Coke? Trying to think what that might be. Would that be an 8-inch Ritchie Chrétien or something by chance? Or a reduced 925? Just at a guess. What do you think of the new ASI 2600 MC Duo? Ooh, well, as I've not actually tried one, I can't say for sure, but I think it's a nice idea. It harkens back to the old days of S-Big, Santa Barbara Instruments Group cameras, where they sometimes would offer a kind of like an on-camera guide chip next to the main camera, just like ASI are doing right there. So you have the disadvantage of having to guide through whatever filter you're currently looking through, but with modern guide sensors, how much of a disadvantage that actually ends up being, I don't know. I can imagine sometimes it might be hard though, finding viable guide stars. If you're using a dual narrowband filter, a very narrow one, for example. So going for another autofocus. Oh, you went to Ohio for the eclipse. Nice one, mate. 2-day drive. I bet it was worth it though. So it's a reduced 925. Nice one. I've got something else I can share with you guys exclusively on the live stream, by the way, as well, that recently got sent to me as a gift from a friend for review. And while I won't get it out right now, I can tell you what's in here. So inside this box, we have First Contact Cleaning Polymer, which is something I've wanted to try out for absolutely ages. And a friend of mine finally sent me some as a bit of like an out of the blue gift. So that was a really nice surprise. And man, I'm looking forward to trying that thing out on the 11 Edge HD, especially as well, because that thing needs its corrector plate cleaning. It's not too bad, but it's got stuff on there that I don't want on there. You know, bits of pollen and whatnot that you shouldn't really let sit. It can be slightly acidic, as far as I understand. So look for a future video on that as well. It'd be a nice thing to try and review. The most advanced cleaning solution available to man. I'm glad to hear it was worth the trip, mate. Yeah. Space Stuff is using an ASI 174 Mini for your guiding. Does a very good job. I can imagine, mate. Yeah, those huge pixels are going to suck in a lot of light. Yeah, 100%. The eclipse went over your house, Jack. That's really cool. 3 minutes and 15 totality. Sick. Yeah, I really want to see an eclipse one day. It just wasn't on the cards this year. But it's absolutely on the bucket list. Need to do it. Just got a notification that SpaceX is launching again tonight. More satellites. Ugh. That said, have you had the opportunity to see one of the satellite trails kind of going over? I think that's really cool. If, you know, also at the same time a bit annoying. Kevin, I would like to see that. Been wanting to clean some filters. Yeah, I mean, from all that I've read, it is just the best stuff going. So, yeah, can't wait to see what it actually turns out to use like in the wild. Good morning, Deep Sky Wonders. Good morning to you too, mate. Hope you're having a good morning indeed. Like Jesse said in Breaking Bad, science. B. I won't say the rest. Want that monetization still enabling, you know what I mean? Yeah, they are awesome to see. I remember the first time I saw it, I just thought to myself, what planet am I living on? It looks so alien, seeing all those single dots of light skating across the night sky. It's just mad. Cool for my astronomy club, but bad for my photos. Yeah. I think I will end up doing a video trying to actively stack a bunch of subs with satellite trails and see if we can get rid of them all. You know what I mean? Try to face the boogeyman. Hey there, David. Good to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. Good of you to stop by. Are you up to anything today? Are you going to be imaging tonight or all like that? I can see the rockets going up from my front yard. That's incredible, mate. So I guess you get to see all the really cool spirals and things as well as they enter the upper atmosphere. I think this year I'd like to also, on a not related but also solar related note, I'd like to try and photograph some more noctilucent clouds this year. They're a phenomena we're lucky enough to see up this far north. I'd love to only be complaining about satellite trails in AP. Are you having to refocus so often because of flop, temp, or is it just not holding? I can't say with actual full confidence, to be honest. I don't know what's going on, but I did notice that the last time I was imaging with this thing and I was refocusing every like 40 minutes, it seemed to be too long. So yeah, and until I get the opportunity to really nail down what's going wrong, I wouldn't like to say at the risk of giving misinformation, but I will say these subs look nice and sharp. I'm really pleased with those. I'm seeing even kind of details in these single subs now. These ones are really good. Kind of makes me feel like throwing away the early subs from the night, you know what I mean, and just keeping the best stuff. If I just on the screen right here, let's say, put this one sub, and then we'll click back to one of the earliest ones from the night. So here we go. Maybe the first sub we captured. Let's try and see the difference when it loads. Any day now. Yeah, I mean, crikey. Look at that. It doesn't even look like the same bloody target. That looks so mushy and soft. Try another one. In fact, there's no way I'm going to stack those. I'm going to throw those away. I'll probably do the same with Chloe's. I'll go through and try and skirt through. I must have selected a bad frame there. I did. I accidentally selected a 60-second frame. That's my bad. So, okay, here's a more fair comparison. Another one of these 120 seconds. Should pop up on screen in just a moment. The latest frame. So note the sharpness of those core stars and this little group next to it once it pops up. And it would be a frame with bad guiding. Absolute classic. Right, I'll put one on manually. Pretty cool. I can see the boosters coming back down as well. Damn, dude, that really is cool. Pete says, "Cracky, didn't realize you were still here, Pete. That's awesome of you to stay and spend that time. Really appreciate it, mate. You get to see him as well. Not seen him for a while. Nah, me either. Last I saw was, yeah, last year, I think. Probably about this time, actually. Probably more likely to photograph clouds and stars." Hello from cloudy Melbourne. Nick, good to see you, Nick. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Dave asks, which scope are you using tonight? I am using the Edge HD 11, mate. And I'm enjoying it. Aside from some, you know, kind of minor issues at this point now they've gone away. I'm not stressed about it too much. With guiding, at one point in the night, seems to have settled off, and we're having a good session now, mate. You're officially in darkness now and can polar align. Nice one. Enjoy. I've seen your scopes for sale. Deep Sky Wonders. Yes, I have. I've just realised who you are. Sorry, mate. I'm that unfamiliar with names sometimes. Thanks for coming and joining in, bud. Brian, how's it going? Greetings from the middle of Canada. Love your channel. Thank you. Such great info. I've learned so much. That's really kind of you to say, mate. I'm very glad to hear it. Thanks for tuning in. Caught my one and only image of noctilucent clouds last year. Just came back from your dark side and looked up, and there they were. So cool. That's really nice, mate. I'll try and fire up an image on my hopefully it's on my Google Drive anyway, of the last time I saw noctilucent clouds. Ooh, also, if you want to see a quick pic today from the sea star on the solar activity, and it looks like there is a big old group of sunspots right there, don't it? This is just a single frame from the sea star S50. That's a lot of sunspots. It last looked just like that, really, when we got the aurora up here. Very similar, anyway. At least I think so. If I search for, will it know what a noctilucent cloud is? I use an AI search within Google Photos, and it looks like it doesn't know what one is. Have to manually just scroll back a little bit. Yeah. No, they weren't unclo. Sorry guys, I've had to cover chat up while I just find this. Ooh. Where is it? It is a ways back actually, this, isn't it? No, I think I've failed. Sorry guys, I wanted to show you some noctilucent clouds, but can't seem to find them in it. Oh, no, just as I said it, I found them. I mean, there's a couple anyway. This is just phone stuff, you know what I mean? But they're such a weird thing to see. Let's see. How are the star shapes in the corners of the image? Asks Isaac. Good question. They should be absolutely perfect. So let's zoom out and take a look. Still waiting here. Another hour till dark for you, eh? Crikey. That's some wait, Milkman, mate. Yeah. What time is it actually getting dark for you? If you don't mind me asking. I think you mentioned you're at 41 north. Nice solar. Yeah, thank you. You've been following with the dwarf. Yeah, the dwarf is such a fun little scope. I think overall, on balance, I have to prefer the sea star, but I do have a soft spot for the dwarf, I have to say. So there's the corner view. Isaac, I think they look pretty good, given that, you know, the center stars themselves are kind of about that, aren't they? So not too bad. Just a little bit of vignette present, of course, that's all. But that all clears up very nicely with flats. What a winners that we came up with it. Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'll wait for this to cancel its view and go back to normal. My mini PC's really struggling tonight, unfortunately. You had Aurora there in Florida as well. Yeah, someone said during last live stream they'd got it down in Florida. I believe my friend Jason from Arizona mentioned he'd seen a small amount of the aurora, kind of like the sky went pinkish for him, even that, like that far down. So unbelievable. But yeah, that vignette we're seeing, if you're interested, mean values in the corner of the vignette are about 1570. Mean values in the center of the frame are about 1730. So a few hundred ADUs difference. Not much of a drop off. It's got pretty good field coverage, I would say, as this edge. Yeah, pretty pleased with it overall. We can notice on the Nina graph, by the way, as well. We appear to be picking up more and more and more stars now as the night goes on and the object becomes more and more elevated, which is good to see. And at the same time, the HFR started very high and now it's going down, 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 and just picking up a little bit lately, but we'll see how that goes in the end. Oh, so around 1032 for you, Milkman. Ah, not too bad then, actually, mate. Not as bad as I thought it would be. There was an X-class flare earlier today. Whew. I don't exactly know what an X-class flare is, but it just sounds metal, doesn't it? X-class. That's the same group of sunspots that caused the aurora. Ah, so it's the same group. They just returned to the front from a trip around the back. Interesting. Both your team lead at work and our director purchase C-stars. That's cool, Paul. Second large group of spots forming as well. Just trying to catch up with chat. Sorry, guys. Newest thing noctilucent clouds I've seen recently is nacreous clouds. It was the first for me, as I've never seen it before. Honestly, Pete, I wouldn't know what they were if I saw them, mate. I'll have to Google that and see what they exactly are. Just got bled out because of the mosquitoes. Oh, that's rough. That'll come a little bit later for us, the kind of midges and mozzie season. Is that including the off-axis guide of shadow? Asks Isaac. So the OAG, the shadow is just that bit right there. So you can see there's a segment here and a segment here. And there, the darkest one's on the right by the looks, and that's about 1570 ADU. So kind of comparable to the vignette at the corners, I guess. There's not much of a problem. It's not, you know, drop the prism too far into the image, I'd say. Have you ever imaged SH2112? Don't know what that is off the top of my head, so I'll just SH2112. No, I haven't imaged that, mate. Just for reference for people wondering what Milkman's imaging. Right there. That's a pretty target. Might have to give that a go at some point, mate. Recently read a study on sun-like stars in our cosmic neighborhood. They're all much more active than our sun. We're all so lucky that our star is calm. It is scary to think if it wasn't, yeah, but I guess if it wasn't calm enough, we probably wouldn't exist. But it lashed our atmosphere away long before life could emerge. You work at 60 degrees north in September. Whew. Aurora's mind-boggling, and almost every night, bottle skies. That's incredible, Brian. That's you get to see something there that I imagine a lot of people never ever will. So lucky in that regard, mate. What focal length are you at now with this setup that we're seeing? Asks Paul. 2800 millimeters, Paul. F10. Not long before it starts to get darker again here in the UK. Yeah, hopefully so, mate. Crikey. I don't know the exact date. Is it the 21st? Is it? Or am I just not remembering correctly? But anyway, yeah. Hopefully so. X-class flare is not good. Can trigger coronal mass ejections. Ooh. Part of the follow on Citizen Science Project is to catch white light X-class flare. Interesting. Longest day is the 21st. Ah, okay. Fair play. Yeah. You know, as much as I groan because, you know, astronomy, I do like the dark skies. Winter was so bad. I'm not going to complain about summer. Now it's here. You know what I mean? I've been enjoying it. Like I said before I even started this stream, I've just been having a nice, and I've really needed a relaxing day, but a nice relaxing day barbecuing. It was good. Really good. You could pull the CCDT67. Is that one of the astrophysics reducers? Out of the optics train for F9 1370. Yeah. 21st. It's been a... yeah. Crikey. Try to do solar every day. That's really cool, mate. That wouldn't be possible for me, of course. Nearly every day for us is cloud, but whenever I get the opportunity now, I'm really enjoying just getting the sea star out, sticking the solar filter on and just taking a look, even just for 5 minutes, because it's such a low effort setup that it doesn't take anything out of your day to do. You know what I mean? Gil says, here in Germany at my latitude, I have to wait until mid-August to have dark nights again. Oh well, gotta watch Luke until then. Well, you're always more than welcome, buddy. Having an observatory would help my case as well. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think I've mentioned this before, but having the observatory, bit of a blessing and a curse at the same time, oddly. I think it made me lazy in some way and also lose you know, without sounding too hippie or anything, but like a connection that used to be there when I set up, and I'd spend a lot of my night actually outside under the sky, whereas now I spend a lot of my night in this rather nice warm room, but it's not the same. But on the other hand, it does let me do imaging at the drop of a hat, so I can't complain too much. Gorillakos, hello from Greece. Hello to you too, mate. Thanks for joining in. Good to hear from you. In Manitoba, I live at 50 degrees north, Portal 2. Wow, but run northern lights and wildlife photography tours at a remote lodge in northern Manitoba in September. Incredible, mate. You do daily solar posts as often as clouds allow. 5 minutes with a dwarf. Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's fantastic. Kevin, yeah, looking through an eyepiece, absolutely. I really want to do that this year again. I want to watch the planets for a while, you know what I mean? One of my strongest memories in astronomy came fairly recently, actually, when I was reviewing, if any of you remember, the ASCAR 130 PHQ, that APO that got sent over for review. And part of that was a visual astronomy test that I did. And I watched one of the Galilean moons emerge, you know, from just behind Jupiter, and that was a really just such a nice memory to have. Seeing that happen with your eyes in real time feels just strange. Want more of that. Definitely want more of that. Pete's getting into the solar imaging with your Daystar Quark. Very nice. The annoying thing is that the skies here are clear-ish during the day, cloudy at night. We've had a little bit of that actually recently as well, Pete. You think, oh, it's going to be a good night, and then it just goes blah as soon as dark starts to come. I'm glad that that's taken away some of the scratching the itch, shall we say, for you. Ash, hello from Texas. Hello to you too, mate. Thanks for stopping by. Let's take a look at the sky camera. A minute. See what's going on. Looks pretty darn bright out there, I have to say. The June solstice in Leeds is at 9:50 p.m. on Thursday the 20th of June. Nice. Time and date. Love using your eyepieces and your 14-inch SCT. Oh, mate, I can only imagine. Yeah, I think the biggest scope I've ever looked through visually was a 12, and that was a Newtonian, which was pretty good, even from my crappy skies, but I can only imagine that step up to a 14 has got to be pretty massive. You remember that video well, actually. Oh, that's awesome, Gil. That's really cool. Seeing Jupiter in the day with my 140 was my fondest astro experiences. I can only imagine, mate, yeah. How hard was it to locate during the day, though? I can only just give you a stiff salute at that, so that's some accomplishment, finding Jupiter during the day. Looking through an eyepiece is so surreal. I love imaging, but visual grounds me. Very well said, yeah. I think it does. A nice bit of visual every now and again. Oof, can't beat it. I really miss it, actually. I think the last scope I really looked through was that 130 PHQ. And then before that, I had a Meade 10-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain, grain, a really old one. But that was fun to look through visually, especially at the planets. The moon and planets are my favourites. I've just actually mistaken myself. No, the last scope I looked through visually was the SkyMax 180. How did I manage to forget that? Yeah, that was recent. Suffering from short-term memory loss. Ash, getting ready for your first remote setup. Ooh. Just how remote are we talking, Ash? Setting up an observatory at the end of your garden from in your house or in another state or something? Not, you know, not important. Just wondering. Just curious, that's all. Having a Paramount Mighty helps. Oof. What a nice mount, mate. Newts are nice. A light bucket, yeah. Pound for pound, Newts, man. They're hard to beat. They are hard to beat. If you've got the option and you want to image at long focal lengths, I do prefer a Schmidt Cassegrain. I think these days there's just a nice telescope design and sealed as well, which is really important for me. In my observatory, keeping dust out of a Newt is just a never-ending battle. You know what I mean? But at least with an SCT, it just lands on correct plate and you can clean that relatively easily. Just came back to Astro after a 3-year break. Can't believe how bad the skies have got with the clouds. Yeah, Brady, Texas with Bray Falls. Oh shit, nice. Awesome, mate. In relation to the cloud thing, I did read an article recently that suggested now we're kind of entering solar maximum once again. We may see a little bit less cloud activity. Excuse me, my voice is going funny. You sent you sent them you. Sorry, Chris. I did actually send them your way, mate. My bad. A friend of mine with a roll-off roof keeps a Roomba on constant spider and dust patrol. That's not a bad idea. Well, I'd need to clean up my observatory, I think, first. There's stuff all over the place in there. Dude, I wish I'd have built this place bigger, basically. Hello there, by the way, Chris. Good of you to join in, buddy. Are you out imaging tonight? I know you texted me, I think, earlier today and mentioned you might be. Oh, just in a message from you, actually. Sorry, mate. I've had my phone on Do Not Disturb. My bad. So I think, by the way, guys, we are nearly at the end of this session now. About 2:20, and I'll probably call it on this thing. Well, a good, few hours at it, and I'll be able to filter through and keep the best of these subs. And I'll do that in both cases for part of this comparison, There we go. We've got our next 2-minute sub in. Looks really quite sharp and promising. Pleased at that. Yeah, but like I say, we'll go through, get the best of the best, and compare the two telescopes in an upcoming video, which I think should be a little bit of fun. Nautical twilight in Leeds, 20 minutes. Right. So it'd be slightly earlier than that for me, even then. I think I'm actually like 10 miles to the east of Leeds. Brian did an imaging session 2 nights ago in the morning. Great to play on your SCT was coated in pine tree pollen. Ugh. Interesting flats, which actually worked. Nice. Hey, Carl. How's it going, buddy? Glad to see someone as relatively clear skies. Waiting on storms here in the southeastern US. Can't image and can't ride the GS. Oh. No. Oh, that's grim, mate. What's left to do but pop a cold one. Enjoy yourself, mate. Kevin Rasso. First time participating in a live stream. Love your genuine passion for the hobby. Oh, thank you, buddy. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I love spending my evenings, like I say, doing live streams and stuff and sharing what I'm doing with other interested folks. It's a lot of fun. I realise tonight's been probably a bit of a boring one to watch, as I've just been doing, well, this, imaging M57 all night, kind of just keeping an eye on things in Nina. So I apologize about that, guys. But next live stream, hopefully, I think we'll do a bit of EAA, that kind of thing again. So on that note, what would you rather we did that EAA with? Would you prefer to, you know, go with the long focal length of the Edge HD, or would you like me to put the RASA back on for a while? And we'll go after some summer nebulae or something like that and have a tour of the night sky. I don't know. What do you think you guys would like to see most? I think you should keep imaging and compare two stacks. One with just good subs and one with all the subs that have good guiding. Yeah. It's possible, isn't it, Isaac? Yeah, you raised a good question there, mate. Would the weighting be accurate enough? Got 5 hours on the Iris from Dayton. Very nice. Chat keeps it interesting. It does indeed, mate. Yeah, I like I say, I really appreciate it being able to spend my evenings with you guys. What do you mean boring? That's a very relaxing stream. Oh, thank you. Enjoyed myself very much. Spot on. That's really kind of you to say. Northern Kentucky Stargazers. Hey there, buddy. Clear skies around here have been hard to come by. Oof. Yeah, here too, mate. Here too. Depending on how many subs you have, the not so good versus good ones, that could be interesting. Maybe a video on the importance of culling bad subs, perhaps, if you know, if the weighting isn't good enough, that we can just stack them all. Interesting one. Miguel says, when is the next stream? I mean, potentially it could be tomorrow, but I can never say for sure because the weather's just been so changing here lately. We'll go from thunderstorms to clear sky within half an hour. It's really weird. Oh, and 211 Milkman, definitely the RASA with nebulas, I see. SpaceX launch in 59 minutes. Cool. I'll be sure to check in on YouTube and catch that one, hopefully, mate. Normally they do live streams, don't they? We're here in Florida tonight, but it's 88 Fahrenheit outside right now and like 80% humidity. Oof. Pretty toasty. Does it still look okay for tomorrow night, Chloe? Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll try and thought I'd better come in with this account and give the stream a like. Oh, thank you, mate. Very kind of you. Have a beer and get some sleep. That sounds like a good invitation if ever I've heard one. A beer and some sleep. Engage. If I just start a poll real quick. I'll just click start poll on that for a few moments and we'll see what's what. I'll get a better indication. I can't believe I forgot that polling is a thing on the stream. Not all boring. Oh, that's really good to hear. I really did worry that this one would have been a little bit of a snooze fest for people. Next best thing to having a clear night and imaging myself. Awesome, mate. What's that, sorry, Chloe? Looks like we could have Monday and Tuesday as well. Oof. I've got some clear skies on the way by the sounds of that. Anomalous. I'm in Connecticut, where it's just getting dark, and I was inspired to check the calibration on my Edge HD 8. I hadn't checked it in a couple of years, and it's so close, I'm not going to screw with it. Well, that's good news. That's really good news. It's beautiful here as well. Just started my M101 captures. Nice one, mate. Yeah, exactly, Miguel. Exactly, mate. Make all the plans we want, but the weather is in charge of everything. 100%. Looks pretty strongly in favor of the RASA for the next stream. We'll get some speed on stuff, eh? Ooh, I wonder then, would we go with a dual narrowband filter and go after some some of those nice Cygnus nebulae maybe. Or just use the UV IR cut and see what we can capture regardless. Love to see some of Cygnus, says Duck. Yeah. Paul Smith, it takes me a bit of time to set up. Mate, I empathise completely. I remember the days of having to set up manually. Observatory life changed that a good bit, but not always for the better, I think. Wilson asks, when's the tutorial coming to edit globular clusters? Globular clusters specifically, eh? Potentially, that's something I could do. Yeah, depends on what date we've actually got hanging about, Chloe. But yeah, that's possible. Sitting alone, imaging M51 is good, but it's made much better with your company and all those in chat. Oh, too kind, buddy. Thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Better give you a masterclass, Luke. Absolutely, mate. Hi there. Hey there, mate. Good to see you. About an hour ago, it's partly cloudy. I selected raster as well. Yeah, it's 75% raster, eh? It's a pretty strong result there after 32 votes. I think we've only got 60 odd people in. I say only, that's quite a lot of people in chat. So even if everybody else voted edge, would it be enough to swing it? It would, wouldn't it? Just. Good stream. Oh, you still here, Casey? Awesome, mate. Built all 3 setups while watching, and the sun just went down. Clear skies after 2 months. It's a sign. Get out there and enjoy it, mate, if you can. That's really good to hear. Wolf Rayet 134 in Cygnus would be awesome. Ooh. It would. I do wonder, with my skies as they are and how bright they are, would I be able to capture that Wolf Rayet? Or would I have to wait for, astronomical darkness to return? Let's see. Sorry, by the way, I'm just catching up with something else as well. Nice, yeah, so I think it looks pretty settled. I should probably get the raster on for the next stream. I'll get on with that. Close that poll down now. M13, says Paul. I think I do have some data, yeah, on M13, potentially. And yes, Chloe, I think about 220 or so. It don't have to be exact, as you know, it's, yeah. When we'll both end our session at that, probably. I'm curious to see, what do you plan to do with your Cassegrain? Well, I'm enjoying this Schmidt Cassegrain tonight for sure, mate. For these types of targets, it's just been a revelation. Do you know what I mean? A heck of a lot of fun. Mike G, hey there, Mike. Thanks for joining in. Gonna say maybe later in August. It's pretty faint also. But would be stunning and unique for sure. I think, Gil, yeah, I could do with writing that down. WR134. I'll put it on my 134. Put it on my to-do list. And yeah, why not? I think that would be a great target for the raster, wouldn't it, with its immense light grasp. Yeah, we're about to wrap things up. Anyway, guys, very shortly. I'm sorry I couldn't do the otherwise planned stacking of this, as it just seems to be, unfortunately, too much for my my poor old mini PC to handle. But you're going to see these images coming in a future video anyway. So yeah, as long as tomorrow night looks okay, probably another live stream. I can't, guarantee, depending on how tomorrow goes. But yeah, it would be great to see you all again if you have some time and you'd wish to spend it in here. It's been really nice having you all. Dark pixels. For info, I do deep sky with my Casa grain, not a Schmidt Casa grain, just a pure Casa grain, and it works pretty well. Nice. Can see Polaris now. Time to polar align. Awesome, mate. Night. Yep. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Yep, as always, and thank you again for the support, by the way, as well. It's very, 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 very warmly received. I hope you know. I appreciate you all a great deal. You make this whole thing what it is, so thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's about it. I just gave a thumbs up on 7 accounts. Crikey, mate. That's going above and beyond. Thank you. Yeah. Spot on. Right then. Let's call it that, guys. Then I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Wherever you... Oh, crikey, Chris. Thank you so much, mate. Go grab a coffee each. I think I will do just that. Actually, mate, yeah. Yeah, thank you all, guys. Thank you again. And thanks once again, Chris. What a nice note to end on. You're an absolute champion, mate. Awesome. Well, guys, that is about everything. I'll leave you at that. One last quick look at that sky cam, eh? Things are definitely looking a bit bright out there, aren't they? Roll on winter, but not after we've had some fun this summer. Don't go too fast. Right, have a good one, guys. I'll see you as soon as possible. Cliss, guys.